That I was in the green room.
I know. I didn't see that. I'm reading. I'm only 300 pages into this document, and I already see. First of all, if you're FPV, you got nothing to worry about.
Yeah.
First of,
249 grams is nothing. Nothing's going to be changed.
first of all, how's everybody doing? How you doing, Adrian?
Push
Hanson,
push the
Mateo
button
John.
and
Just
go
want to tell
live,
you,
Jim. Oh, there you go. Okay.
It is.
just, just want to tell you how you all everybody doing. This is Adrian from Mateo Drone. We are live on the Jim Boys
Yeah, we're
channel. He
finally
don't even know how to
live.
introduce
Yeah.
himself anymore.
Adrian, we're finally seeing you. It's been quite a while, my friend. How are you?
I gotta
I'm doing all right.
uh,
You?
let me turn off my.
Good.
Right now, Lee, how you
Yeah.
doing, Chief?
Good.
Carlos, how you doing, brother?
Carlos, Brent, Mitch.
Michael Blade,
Agent K.
K,
Hey, K. How you doing?
Arson
doing, Agent
Funds
K?
Diversions, Jody Drone Shop.
There you go.
RC
We'll
Directions,
get
how you
there.
doing?
Anyway, have any of you? I'm on the 300 page part of the document, which basically goes through.
I'm waiting for the cliff note.
It tells you a preamble, but most of the document is a ramble back and forth. The AOA, Pilots Association of America, said this, and here's our response to that. But the cut through that I'm getting is if you're FPV and 249 grams, there's absolutely no change. They extended to 18 months the part where people can apply for a FRIA, which it now includes community-based organizations, because as Mitch will tell you, in my town and his town, there are no AMA.
Yeah, there is one. Hey, who's got their TV running in the background?
How you doing, Jody? Michael Reynolds, how you doing, Chief? John Coopy, how you doing?
Not me.
Somebody had it. I heard somebody had TV
I don't
going.
have a
Yeah.
TV back there.
Okay.
I've got a piano. Right
Yeah,
there.
Jim. The FRIA thing. It's going to be interesting because basically what I read, and I didn't read all 470 pages because so much of it is like the Federalist Papers relating to the Constitution. It's not about the rules; it's about the reasons why
Right.
they
right.
adopted the rules. And I don't, I mean, it's interesting, but it's not necessary to know that. But the
No. Go ahead.
I was going to say the FRIA thing. The AMA had a live stream today, and I watched that. And of course, that was pretty much the gist of their live stream was, hey folks, guess what? No problem. We got
Except for the fact that any AMA field has now got to apply for being a FRIA.
well, everybody will apply. The AMA will shepherd all that. That'll happen, and you got 18 months to do that. That's not
Right.
going to be a problem. It turns out, in my opinion, and I spent an hour and 45 minutes last night arguing with Carlos about my
Yeah, I
opinion.
saw that. I saw that. Quagmire.
But I love Carlos though. At any rate, and some more reading today. It turns out that this whole remote ID thing that we've been sweating about and agonizing about and having demonstrations about and filing lawsuits about is turning out to be a whole lot about almost nothing.
Well, that's now. It's an evolving
That's what I
document.
mean now. Yeah. It turns out, and the thing that you were talking about with the AOPA is they came in and basically said, hey man, we got ADS-B up here so we can see the other airplanes. You can't fill up our ADS-B receiver with 200 drones.
Right.
We can't
Right.
handle all that stuff. Don't you dare. So the FAA said, oh, okay. And the network business, where you were going to have to pay a monthly fee to a network provider, and you had to fly connected to the internet, that turned out to be just a cluster F of an impossibility, and
what,
and
Mitch?
that didn't happen.
A cluster what?
F. F asterisk asterisk K. Yeah.
Like snafu.
Glad
Yes.
you clarified that.
All right. Well, it's my job. So I think that except for the remote ID part, we actually got some new shit we didn't have before. This flying at night, flying over people is a little better defined.
Well,
And
here's the problem. That comes with its own set of problems in that subpart F to these rules of the 400 pages
Right.
is the process for the person making in other words, any serial number on your drone right now is useless. Any unique ID user number on your drone right now is useless. Anything you have now is useless. No matter what DJI did, it doesn't comply with the United States government. The United States government insists that they will oversee all implementation, all making, all documentation, and all processes involving the making of the remote ID modules. Those
But that's-
modules will transmit. Well, that way.
yeah.
You think they're going to be allowed into China?
What do you mean?
they're-
They're all gonna come from China.
Well, they're all going to, no, not unless they're allowed U.S. inspectors to be there. And are you flying over this whole thing was for the FAA to limit its monetary costs.
Yeah.
Because ADSB, as Mitch knows,
Hey, welcome, Al.
can't see below 400 feet because of all the buildings and all that involved.
How you doing, Al?
What's up, guys? How you doing? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
we,
yeah,
don't
we can hear
the
you.
dogs
I'm having
have
issues
bark.
now. All right, hold on a sec.
I thought it was at Lloyd's show for a second there.
The producer of the remote identification broadcast module, along with subpart F, must meet certain inspection requirements for the production of the modules, the audit requirements, the product support, and notification requirements. These requirements are aligned with similar requirements for normal aircraft that you fly, Mitch.
Jim, what you're reading there is basically boilerplate compliance language that also exists in every FCC document, and it's what requires DJI, for example, when they come out with a new drone, to submit that paperwork to the FCC, and then it goes in the FCC database, and then everybody can see it. But all of that same language, all the FCC already has those powers, and it's just boilerplate government stuff. So
Right.
these remote modules, just like DJI does
So
all
these
their
remote modules will be made in the United States and
No,
America and
they'll be-
overseen by FAA authorities.
Does it say they have to be made in the United States?
They specifically say we do not care who makes them, but you will
Exactly.
make them to our certification
Exactly,
processes.
and that's what the FCC says. So don't sweat this, because
So the CCP is going to allow producer audits? I don't think so, buddy.
no, it doesn't matter. DJI already is subject to producer audits on their FCC certifications. It's the same thing, Jim. It's the same thing.
Producer audits and inspections help ensure continued compliance with the applicability requirements as constituent with other types of producer inspections performed by this agency and its authorized representatives.
Okay.
Ain't nobody flying
It's
to China.
meaningless. It's meaningless, Jim. They don't fly to China to check the FCC shit now. Don't panic over this crap.
I'm not panicking over it.
What's gonna happen? What's gonna happen? And everybody just is trying to read stuff in here. Basically, it's a bunch of nothing. These modules, number one, are only going to be required to transmit far enough so that some law enforcement officer with a cell phone within a half a mile can pick it up. They're not going to communicate with any broad network or the FAA. They only have to broadcast, and the broadcast is going to be pretty much limited to the range of your drone or less. Okay, the people that can pick this up have to have going to have a particular app on their phone, but they're not going to be. You're not going to have drone police running around the
No, it's
neighborhoods
not
with
gonna-
scanners and all that crap.
Not
It's
gonna be an
nothing.
app on the phone.
It's nothing.
The Freedom of
It-
Information Act, as stated in page 150 or somewhere around there, precludes the public knowledge. But
Exactly. So
your
everything that we were
ICAO
worried.
information that you registered with when you registered your drones is already available to the public.
But-
So it's
but-
less information than a private pilot puts out on their information, but there is 8 parts of information that are going.
But there's
out
also
and
there's
being
also
transmitted.
Jim. There's also a clause in there that basically says like a license plate
No,
that only no. Let me
that was a
finish my point.
discussion point.
No, let me
So
finish
you-
my point, Jim. I'm using license plates as an example. Anybody can read your license plate number, but only officials can cross-reference it to your name. And that's going to be the same thing with these ID numbers transmitted by these devices in our drones. They can
Mitch, you're
only be
breaking up.
cross-referenced to the FAA, information about who's flying and personal information, but not by the general public, which is what everybody thought was going to happen in the first place.
No, law enforcement will have use of it, but not the
Right.
general public.
I think that what's going to happen is, other than the fact that we're all going to have to make sure that any quad we fly over 250 grams either has this stuff built in, which I guarantee you every flight controller manufactured after a year and a half from now will have this little transmitter and information built into it. So when you
If you're
build
over
a quad,
249 grams, you
right,
will.
when you
Now,
build
our
a
remote identification broadcast is by nature and intent public. Though remote identification provides situational awareness to law enforcement, it will also provide public with basic information about a particular unmanned flight to facilitate reporting to law enforcement.
yeah, and that's assuming that the public is going to be running around
Have
looking
you
for
seen my
drones.
neighbors?
But Jim, your neighbor
Would you think
neighbor
Jim might
doesn't
be a
need
little
remote
biased?
ID to be a pain in the ass for you. You know what I mean? Your neighbor is not a pain in the ass. This remote ID. Let me tell. I
Mitch, did
can't.
you read the 400 documents like I did?
I can't. I've read enough of it
Oh
to
my
know
God.
that most of it is meaningless bureaucrat speak. That's boilerplate. That's in every other regulation from every other agency that regulates anything in this country, and nobody is going to do it. The bottom line on this thing is, number one,
All information provided by Mitch is speculation and coming from someone who's pissed at the Republican not winning the presidential election.
here.
For no purchase necessary. All for valid and participating locations. Food where prohibited. No animals were harmed during the production of this soundboard. Subject to
Mitch had his hour and a half show.
That's my disclaimer about my
Disclaimer
opinions.
for
I have
Jim's
it-
neighbor.
For any opinions that I give out, I have that disclaimer right
Are you
there.
guys in panic
Dry
mode?
mouth.
Every place
Running
I go to
nose.
sounds like people are in panic mode.
I don't know
actually
why
thinking
everybody's
good.
in panic mode. I
I'm
think it
simply
turned out to
trying
be
to
a.
discuss it, but Mitch wants to extend it into his show.
I seen Mitch show the other day. He was ready to box with
Oh yeah,
Carlos.
yeah. Well, Carlos basically, I love Carlos, but he insulted me. He said because I'm not going to be marching up and down with a sign and running at the FAA with guns, that I really don't care, and I'm a coward. was basically his point. My point is that the amount of effort that it's going to take to comply with this is going to be nothing. Basically, none of us will notice any difference for the next 2.5 years, and then it'll be a matter of throwing a little extra transmitter on your quad that sends out a very short range little broadcast, and you'll comply with the regulations. It's nothing. It's nothing.
Okay, are you done?
Yeah, I'm done. Go ahead.
Okay. You got a transmitter that will be put on your quad and a transmitter that will have to be put on your remote control system, because your remote control system and your aircraft will now transmit 8 pieces of information, including universal time code. It will start when the drone actually takes off for flight, because there are times, they explain, if you read the document, that you turn on your drone and you're just doing maintenance checks and all that, or running through the basic DJI recertification of its damn vision position sensors and all that. And they don't need all that information. So they wanted to only enable when the drone actually takes off. But it has to have a latency of less than 1 second. It has to transmit the 8 different points of information, velocity, location. It's a geometric figure. And instead of using the internet, they decided to use these transponders, let's call them, transponder modules,
Right.
to identify you, and it has to identify you within 100 feet of your controller, giving your controller's location and your drone's location at all times. If it does not, you must be notified to land immediately. It does say that you do not have to land immediately. You can land responsibly. But it does take away the part of, Dre, it does take a part of what the waivers, the COAs, and the E-colors, the emergency colors I had. It said there'll be no use for them when you have these.
Yeah, and they did away with the recurrent 107 requirement, which was a hell of a gift for most of us. No more,
Okay.
no more
Yeah, you don't
recurrent
have
test.
Let's
The
break this
idea
down.
of the test is
Jim,
not to
can you
pay
hear me?
the $150. It's the idea to learn and
Can
to
you guys
stop
hear me?
giving excuses that you don't know the rules. Yeah, go ahead, Dre.
I'm just saying that a lot of information in this 400-page document is getting thrown out there, and I'm seeing what I have seen on YouTube and other places, Facebook, is that this may have to be broken up in chunks. And I'm saying that those who may have 250 grams or less drones, because everybody's seeing what's going to happen with the Mini and the Mini 2 and everything else. And then the others, and it's also going to be a group of just hobbyists. And what's going to affect them on a daily basis. Now, you and I, Jim, and even Al, and so far, I don't know if Mitch flies for commercial purposes anymore or
A
not,
little bit.
but there's going to be a section that's going to play to us, because like you're talking about this transponder. Now, you know good and well, we're going to fly further distance than 100 feet, 100 meters, whatever they're going to use for measurements.
Yes.
100 feet is just basically getting it off the ground. You know, you'll never reach a location because the work we do on us in the picture.
Right.
So it's just very obvious for commercial pilots that, okay, where is this going to affect us at, as far as where I got to set up at, where am I going to be able to set up at, and also be in compliance with this transponder. Now, you guys are talking about what the transponder is putting out on the drone, also the controller, but that transponder also is going to need some type of data plan. Am I wrong or what?
Yeah, you are wrong. It doesn't need
Okay,
a
so
data plan.
it doesn't need a data plan. That
No,
data plan part
it's
does
up
not
to
exist
them.
anymore.
It's up to them to make a receiver,
Jim, let me ask you something.
and that's in some part F.
Jim, have you seen the word transponder in there?
No, they specifically
No.
call it a module.
They call it a transmitter.
They
That's
call
because
it a module,
it's not
a
right.
broadcast module.
That's a transmitter. There is no two-way communication with
Allowed.
this module and any other device. It is
There's
simply
no two-way allowed.
It's right. It is broadcasting information. Period. End of story. There's no network involved. There's no nothing. Basically, all you're doing is sending out an announcement of these different facts out into the ether, so somebody
Right.
with a
Right.
cell phone can receive it. That's it. That's all there is to remote ID. 99% of the time when you're flying with this remote ID, there won't be anybody in range listening to you. This is going to be a very rare occurrence. The purpose, I think, for this is that in case of a drone swarm heading towards downtown New York,
It
you know,
specifically says the purpose for this. The purpose for this is because of the idiots who have broken the law and continue to break the law, and they have no
Okay.
enforcement. So
Okay.
now they're making the local law enforcement, although if you watch schools, universities, trade schools, and all that can apply as CBOs.
as free.
An individual cannot apply as a CBO. An individual cannot apply for a freer space.
But
which
you don't
means-
need a FRIA with this, Jim.
Mitch, let me talk.
Hey, I'll
But
tell you what,
states
Jim.
and
Jim,
government agencies can't.
let me say one thing, guys. I'm not worried about this at all. It will not affect me in anything that I do, and it won't
one said
affect
you had to worry.
any of the rest of you. Period. It is a big nothing burger, and to sit here and argue with everybody over the minutia of the wording on page 472 is it's too tough on me, and I'm too old and I'm too tired. So I'm going to bow out and let you guys figure out the whole mess. Okay, guys? I'll see you.
Okay.
Yeah, what
We can
Mitch
talk
said,
about something
yeah.
that's fun.
Okay. Let's bring Dan in.
I heard there was a party in here.
as we stated from the start, it's got nothing to do with 249 grams drones. However, if this damn transponder or whatever it is does affect, what could the weight possibly be of an SoC, software on a chip, just transmitting? I don't think it could be anything. But Mitch and Carlos had a nice fight on Mitch's stream last night, which I thought was fun. But I was too busy reading the document, where everyone else wants to just speculate.
I think there's positivity. Just go through the executive summary, and you don't need to go in depth. I'm not reading all 470 pages. I'm going to tell you that right now.
You don't have to.
Key elements in
they
it.
sit there and they defend themselves.
For me, is the reoccurrent test. I don't have to pay an additional $160 every 2 years, and I don't have to go in the testing center. That's huge. The second thing for me is there's no broadcasting over the Wi-Fi, whatever
Public
Wi-Fi
airways,
is needed, public airways. And the other one is not people not fucking getting my information. Those are the three big ones. Outside of that, all I want to know is how much these modulars or modules are going to cost, and are they going to be one for all the drones you own, or is there going to be a different one needed for all the different drones you own?
A different one for all the drones you own, because each drone has to have its unique ID and its own serial number. The serial number has to come from the manufacturer of the transponder. The transponder itself will have to have the serial number on it. That serial number will now be given when you register your drone. The serial number has to go on it with it. But none of this applies to 249 grams and below. It only applies to us. If you have a Phantom 4 and above. I think with the Mavic 2 Air, what does that weigh? The Mini 2, even those are light, right?
Here's 149, probably less, 148, 148 grams. The little Cinewhoops are light. You can fly those. They're covered ducks. The ducks that cover over the blades, you can fly those over people.
Dude, most of your 3-inch quads that take 4S batteries and FPV are under 150 grams.
You're good to go.
If you read the document, and it spends most of its time trying to prove to us that they read the 53,000 comments. And those idiots who put in the form letters killed us, because then they just blanket and say the form letters that came from such and such agency, here's our response to that. You know what I mean? So that annoys me.
Now, Jim, what I do have to ask you, because I heard you say a second ago, is that you have to have a module or transponder on your controller as well.
The controller?
I just think it as just having one on the drone itself.
No, if they want to know where you are, they want to know where you are, and it has to be capable of 100 feet, and it can only be off by 15 degrees or less, geometrically speaking, latitude, longitude, attitude, and height above ground.
I'd be more than happy to do that for you, John.
They say they want to know the height above ground because you may be flying from the top of a building. Now, where did that come from? They actually stated that you may be flying from the top of a building. It's insanity. But I thought the fun part was because they mentioned DJI, and then they go and turn around and say that this process of making this transponder will be certified by the U.S. government and will be watched. Basically, they'll have inspectors there to watch this, and your process will have to be certified. You know, however you make a part, you sit there and give instructions how you're going to make it, and then turn around and give it to the government for certification. But they did extend that FRIA out to 18 months. So schools, trade schools, anything else like that can designate a FRIA spot.
What school is going to designate?
Well, like Drone Obsessed Jerry, he works for a school.
A chance. Oh, there's my internet again.
Give me 1 sec, Jim. Let me answer this for John, if you would, bud.
Go ahead, man.
Okay. So as I specified before, most of your 3 and 4 inch FPV quads, your small ones, your 3-inch, 2-inch under, are going to weigh under 250 grams. So just to give you an idea, this is a 3S battery. This is something I would run it on. If you see, it only comes in at 54.7 grams. Let's take that a step further. I'm going to add this entire DeLorean body, a flight controller, and the motors and then we'll see what we get.
While you're at it, why don't you put your scooter on there too? It's
Right.
small enough.
Yeah, let's see that.
Easy now,
Vespa.
don't hate. And what do you got? Still under 150 grams. So, I mean, it's fairly simple to get large quads that actually can underweight. That'll do a serious job if you want to continue flying FPV.
Now,
And Jim, I'm going to go.
FPV. We're talking about real drones, Dan.
No,
think these
John
rules-
asked me a question, and I told him I would answer.
Yeah, I say you tell John. You and John keep that discussion on the sidebar, right? FPV, scooter man. What's next?
Yeah.
Don't hate, appreciate.
oh,
Wait till you see my video tomorrow. Postmates deliveries on a scooter.
Oh yeah.
Hey,
You gonna ride? You gonna ride with a little cape off your back too?
Hey, easy now. This thing flies, dude. I gotta go on like 70 miles an hour now. That's screaming.
Watch me.
I saw
ride my Vespa.
I had to lighten the
No
mood.
show.
I was getting a little tense.
I saw when you were doing the CDI change out and all that.
Dude, I did everything. I'm still not done, man. We still have a 50 shot in NOS to go, 12 gram variator weights, extension pack on the CV joint. I got to put a whole new clutch pack in the CV.
Yep.
I told you, man, when I go all in, I go all in. There's no
He's
ifs,
got to
ands,
get the streamers for the handles too.
buts. Hey, Annabelle. I want the ring, ding, ring, ding. I want one of those too. Right.
So he says, I saw people flying a drone off a hotel balcony on the 25th floor. Is that illegal or not?
No, he's
Right.
not outside. Technically, he's outside. He's on the balcony.
And it still
Yeah, you
maintains.
could be above a building and still be legal. You could be
Yes.
400 feet above a
Your
building.
your takeoff point is your zero ground for AGL,
Yeah.
where your takeoff point is at. So you got 400 feet to fly above that,
Mhm.
as long as you're outside.
And
So-
they did clarify one thing. If you're inside, if you're in a cave, if you're in a garage parking lot, you're not covered by the FAA.
No,
There were people talking about that. Well, what if we're in a, well, that one guy does caves a lot. It's not,
you're talking about. I don't tip my tongue. I think
Jake
Matt,
Stallone.
Jake,
Is it
Jake,
Jake?
yeah, Jake. Jake, so far off the North Pole, I don't think he's even in the United States anymore.
I thought he was in Alaska.
yeah.
Yeah, he's so far from Alaska, dude. I think it's just no man's land and stuff. That's Al up.
What are you worried about? Hitting a seal?
Find your spot, dude. You've been flying a couple of your spots. The
What's that?
Apple facility guy, Phantom.
We don't even know what you're saying, man. You cut out so bad.
You cut,
Do
out,
I?
you cut out there. Yeah,
Yeah,
you cut
horribly.
Out there.
North.
In fact, they say, Dre, you're really cutting out bad, man.
Is it?
Yeah.
All right. I know it's something Dan probably did. Yeah, whatever.
Now you're clear.
Now, I'll say Al, I know it's a guy named Phantom Drone up in Northern California, been flying your spots lately. You've been doing some of these
really?
little YouTube, and the one that stuck out was the Apple facility and stuff. I was like, look at this guy, man. Spot.
You know,
Stealing all your spots, bro.
Yeah,
okay,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Bob Casey
Actually,
said
there's
that
usually
too.
a few drones flying when I'm up and around doing that stuff.
That
Yeah,
power
I'm-
plant Bob Casey worked at for 40 years. He flew it, and then someone else has a video up on it. And he's like,
Yeah.
damn.
Yeah, Bill. I'm still in Facebook jail.
Well, you
Hey,
in
I was
Facebook
going to
jail?
tell you guys, Mel on his show the other day was talking about, not the one he just recently did, but before that, was talking about how if you see a specific drone, you are to call or to be a Karen if you see wires exposed from a drone.
Oh,
Do you guys see
that's
that?
right.
Did you see
Yeah, I
that,
saw
Jeff?
Yeah, it was really
No, I didn't
stupid.
see it.
It was a really stupid post.
Oh, dude, it was crazy. But I was wondering where that info was. I was trying to look for it.
Just suspicious drones. Report
Yeah,
suspicious drones. They had a whole
drones.
list of
Yeah.
what
Oh,
looks
but dude, everything they
suspicious on a
explained
drone.
was an FPV drone, right? Because the wires are
Yeah,
exposed.
yeah.
I
Oh,
didn't see
it
that.
was such a joke, dude. Such
I
a
didn't
joke.
see any of that. And Mike Kenny, the law enforcement authorities, the police, will have the information on these drones. So will any FAA agency representative. I don't know how they don't tell us how they're going to intercept, but they do tell us who will be able to intercept it. And they say law enforcement is one who will be using it.
I don't care because we still have 2 years until any of it really starts to affect my whatever. They can figure all that out as time goes on.
Actually, 2.5 years. And the thing is,
like 30 months, right?
it's an evolving document. Go ahead.
Oh, I love that you say that. It's an evolving document, but it says final.
And they state in there, as technology improves, so will this damn document. You know what I'm saying? But we talked about when it first came out, because in 2020 they wanted it to be all done by cell phone and the internet. Well, what happens? Many of you said what happens when you're out in an area where there is no cell phone.
That's why they did away with it, because it wouldn't work.
Right, absolutely.
Yeah, it's fun to watch. I can't wait. I can't wait for them to see them try to find any kind of manpower to do anything about anything that they put into place. This is going to be hilarious. It's going to be a gigantic joke, honestly.
The police is people reporting other people and people posting stuff to YouTube that probably they shouldn't be posting. That'll be how they'll police it.
They've got a whole section on cybersecurity, which I refuse to read because that's a day-by-day thing. You got companies like Department 13 who specialize in breaking into codes.
Drones, 863. You could fly at night anyways. If you were a hobbyist, you didn't even need a waiver.
No, just need the lights. The
you got to be able to see statues 3 miles away with a FAA certified flashing light. Yeah. See, just because I fly a PB, Dre, not silly at all. Follow all the stuff, buddy.
It doesn't affect Canada now, but if Canada follows whatever ours is, you'll have an open-ended document too.
But you guys know who this is going to affect them. Adrian, with his big collection of drones. He's got to buy a transponder for each one of them.
Dude, I've got 2 GPS drones left, and that's it. I've almost sold everything. I don't want any more GPS.
Where's he at? Let's get some answers on what he thinks. Oh, he's not there.
When it hits him, he's gonna have a heart attack. Well, I gotta buy a transponder for all my. I got a whole museum full of them.
I have a 3DR Solo and the Xeno left. That's it. Everything else is FPV in my house. That's it. That's all.
They did keep the requirement that if you're flying recreational, one registration code is good
all
for
of
all
them.
of them. Yeah.
That's right, people. Don't go get your license. It's more work than it's worth.
Well, what's done is done, and my account's feeling it, so it's happy.
Yeah, with the 3 statute mile lights, you can fly at night.
Yeah.
Has anybody ever tested? And they still say they refuse to define line of sight because there was the argument given that line of sight for each drone is different. If you've got a bumblebee, you can't see the thing 100 feet away from you. But if you're flying a matrice, you can see it 1,000 yards away.
You guys never wondered why I never wanted to buy the small Mavics and stuff? I can see my Solo 5,000 feet away parked in a white cloud. It is the only black speck in the sky sitting up there. It's not. There's a reason I still fly big drones. It's very easy.
I mean, the size of the drone and also the ability of the pilot, you know.
Right. You won't need a waiver. In fact, it looks like they're trying to do away with waivers and certificates of authorization. Period.
Yay.
They specifically said if you have a transmitter on there, a transmitter module, there's no reason for a waiver or COA.
So is that included LANC? So if you're within a 5-mile radius of an airport, you don't have to report to LANC as long as you have that transmitter.
The transmitter is going to tell them exactly how far away the airport will have capabilities to read that information.
Well, with that being said, though, how do you get approval in the future?
Yeah, exactly. How would you get approval? How would you know you're getting approval?
It doesn't take away LANC. I didn't see LANC taken away anywhere.
So you still have to do the LANC process if you're within that 5-mile range. There it is. Hey, let's ask this guy. Yeah. The man with 200 drones. What are you going to do when you have to get a module for each drone?
There he is.
What are you going to do when you have to get a module for each drone?
There he is.
What are you going to do when you have to get a module for each drone? What are you going to do when you have to get a module for each drone? What are you going to do when you have to get a module for each drone? What are you going to do when you have to get a module for each drone? What are you going to do when you have to get a module for each drone? What are you going to do when you have to get a module for each drone? What are you going to do when you have to get a module for each drone? What are you going to do when you have to get a module for each drone? What are you going to do when you have to get a module for each drone? What are you going to do when you have to get a module for each drone? What are you going to do when you have to get a module for each drone? What are you going to do when you have to get a module for each drone? What are you going to do when you have to get a module for each drone? What are you going to do when you have to get a module for each drone? What are you going to
Are we done? Can we talk about the drones now? Can we leave this remote ID shit?
We were talking
We
about
just
drones
asking
when
it.
you left, and you were the topic of the subject. How you gonna feel when you gotta buy 200 modules for all your drones?
Dre, don't get excited, Dre. Every time you get excited, you cut out.
Well, we're looking out for you, Adrian. We are looking out for you.
See, when he doesn't talk loud, he's fine.
Yeah, that's what it
When he
is.
talk real slow, he fine. When he get excited,
Yep, that's all we hear.
the microphone.
It's his own limiter on the mic. Yeah, that cuts him
It's
out.
got we call it heritage relationship with the hillbilly bears, the one who used to grumble all the time.
Yeah, you lose a mini after a few hundred feet. It's tough to see the Mavic 2 Pro that far away too. It is. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Get yourself a solo. You won't have to worry about
I
it.
sit there, and even with the lights on it, I'll bring it up to where there's a cloud behind it, so I can actually see the damn thing. Because in a clear blue sky, it's hard to see.
Where the fuck are you gonna find a Solo? You gotta look for Han
What do you mean?
Solo to buy a Solo.
How you doing, Mike Kenny?
Dude, there's tons of it. Dude, you can buy a 3DR Solo for like $200 on Marketplace right now.
How you doing, Capture Live Connection? Hey, Jim. Hey, Jim.
They're
Why
amazing.
doesn't Michael Wright have a blue wrench?
Who?
Michael Wright.
You should.
Hero
Send it to you on
7
the chat.
Hero 7 going on the Solo next with retractable legs. That's the next mod we're doing. Yeah,
The
it's-
Hero
oh,
7.
yeah, hell yeah. What's wrong with the Hero 7?
Shall we begin?
Hyper smooth. I don't need the 8 or the 9. It doesn't have the HDMI port. I can't believe they did away with the HDMI port.
I took care of that, Michael Wright. Everybody else have one?
I think I do.
Am I wrong in saying that? The Hero 8 and the Hero 9 do not have an HDMI port, correct?
No, not unless you get on the Hero 8. Not unless you get that media mod kit.
Yeah, which I'm not going to do. So Hero 7 still has an HDMI port. That's the one I'll be using for the Solo.
Absolute pain in the ass. The Hero 8.
25
You
thumbs
got to
down.
spend an extra
thumbs up.
$80. Oh, I don't care.
Did you hear me, Jim?
What? I get 25 thumbs down?
25 thumbs down and only 2 thumbs up. Damn, you suck.
I could care less.
What?
Nobody pays for my drones, my life. I don't ever have a GoFundMe, so give me all the thumbs down you want. I could care less.
See,
But I
it
love you,
doesn't
Jim.
matter.
Man, didn't you say that they're
2
doing-
days.
They're doing away
2
with
days, Jim.
They're
2
getting
days.
rid of it.
2 days, Jim.
Now,
You
you
got to
said,
deal with it.
tell
more
us
days.
again why they're getting rid of it. You said something the other day.
Yeah, so,
How you doing,
so
Jim Jonan?
there were so
Oh.
many parents that complained about their children's mental health condition based on the dislike button that they brought it up with YouTube, and YouTube has made the decision to do away with the dislike button
Because of their mental health, right?
because of the mental health of kids on the platform.
Wow.
Apparently, it's disturbing children's brains enough that they
Oh,
can't handle it and they want
boy.
to commit suicide.
That's bullying them to when they get a thumbs down. That's bullying.
Oh,
What a
Every-
society,
They
man.
get participation trophy.
Yeah.
I'll stop coaching football because these kids are soft and their parents
How
expect all these
dare
things.
you?
T1 scholarships and stuff like that.
Do you give out participation trophies out?
You gotta give everybody a certificate. When I was coaching, I had to give everyone a certificate.
I'd have thrown that in the
If their
garbage.
kid didn't get all league or all conference or something.
thanks for
You don't even know. You don't even know.
I give
That's why
those
I never
all
would
to
step
my
back in the little
girlfriends.
league or Pop
They
Warner
get all
levels.
the
I can't coach high
participation
school and
trophies.
above. College, I don't want to coach. See, It's
I know
just
who's going to be. I know who's going to be.
parents are just too much of a pain.
I know who's going to be excited about the dislike button disappearing. BTDR. That's going to be one happy guy.
Who's that BTDD?
Oh.
BTDR. Yeah, he hates that button. Man, does
Took
he?
me a
hate it.
second.
Oh,
He's not a fan. He'll probably mentally be happier when that thing's done.
The
I've never seen it affect somebody in such a strange way. It's
The
crazy.
reviewer.
Yeah.
everybody likes that Hero 7.
Dude, I
Hey,
do. I love it.
I'm getting one for the one I damaged.
Yeah, I have it here. Well, because
And
there's
I've tried
multiple
mine and
reasons
I'm
why.
getting a replacement.
Still has hypersmooth. Still has the ability to change the front lens when you smash it. I mean, it still has the HDMI port. Like, I can't understand why GoPro did away with all these things.
Yeah.
Like, they were the things that made it what I wanted it for. Now they're just like, yeah, get rid of that. We don't need that.
With the 8, they made you buy an $80 media mod in order to hook up the mini HDMI and then the USB-C port to charge it.
Ridiculous.
Otherwise, you were opening up the battery door, which always comes off, and then sticking the USB-C port in there to charge it. It really was ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
So that whole price came to like $580.
Yeah, ain't doing it. Sorry.
Nope.
I'll just keep my Hero 7 because it costs $220 used.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the 7, the only thing you had to add was a mic adapter, right?
I don't even need that. It has an HDMI port. Oh, you mean if you're running a mic? Yes. You gotta have a mic adapter. Which that's why when I blog from the motorcycle, I'm using the Hero 4 because it didn't need anything. You just plug in the little stupid USB thing, and then you're good to go.
Right.
The Hero 7 I put on the handlebars because that has the hyper smooth and smooths out all the vibrations.
Has it worked yet? Have you tested it?
Yeah, I mean, it's doing a very good job considering how much it's shaking around.
Right,
When
exactly.
I'm riding, that thing's like this, and in the footage, I barely see a little bit of movement. So I'm like, that's pretty darn good. I'll take it. I'll take it.
That was my point with putting it on the Harley. The thing shakes like a son of a bitch. It'd be holy Christ.
Yeah, you want to give people two angles. Like I use a power device mic inside my helmet, so I have good audio, right? But even after 50 miles an hour, man, you start getting wind in there. You can still hear me, but you start getting a little wind in the helmet. But as far as audio goes, I don't really find it's necessary to have stabilization if it's on your helmet because your head pretty much goes with things. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Your head has a slight gyro to it anyways. I mean, you hit a bump, you're going to, do this. But for the most part, it's a pretty smooth ride, man. It's not. I don't see that I require it on the helmet itself. So
They're doing away with the 7? Is that what he says? Kenny's talking?
I think they're done supporting it.
Oh.
So that means buy your lens protectors now and get all your little screens and all that stuff.
Oh, that means I can move up to a 4 now since I'm still using the 3 black.
I had to do that with the Hero 8 because if it drops, it lands on the lens.
Oh.
There's no lip protecting it there. It's flat.
Hey, GoPro has incredible customer service. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, they do.
I'm getting my Hero 7 replaced for something I damaged on it. Of course, I didn't tell them that, but they'll send them a receipt and they're ready to replace it and send me another one.
I told you, John, a lot of the 3-inch quads, man, are not over 250 grams. You can rip, dude, on 4S. You don't
Sorry
need
to hear that, Jim.
5-inch.
His wife had a stroke.
Dan, I didn't think the Vespa went over 45. Mike Kinney, that scooter will not only go past 45, but it'll hit about 72 now. I'm not even done, man. It's still going to go faster. I still have to change the gear teeth in the back. We're going 14 to 37. Hey, stop it. Stop it. Stop it. I will smack you.
You can change the gear ratio on that?
Yeah. Yep. It's actually really simple. Yeah, however, you have to press the gear. It has to be brought in and pressed.
Look at the comment.
Yeah.
What's
Oh,
that?
look at this.
I got most improved certificate in soccer. I read between the lines on that one.
If it makes you feel better, okay, if it makes you feel better, I'll go get a big, dumb, loud exhaust for my 4-stroke scooter. Will that make you feel better? Oh, it makes more noise.
It's not about the noise, dude. You
It is,
obviously
dude.
don't know.
Totally.
You don't know.
Don't hate on the noise, bro.
Jump
Don't
on your-
hate
jump
on the
your feet.
hey. And I will. All the
I got a
badge, bro.
sticker for showing
All
up
the
for
badge.
work today.
Hey, speaking of loud noises, did you hear about the eco-terrorist attack in Aspen, Colorado?
No.
No, I don't know
Yeah,
about that.
they cut the gas line. So
Wow.
3,500 people were without heat in Aspen, Colorado.
That's an eco-terrorist?
Yeah, eco-terrorists. Well, they don't like natural gas, so they cut the gas line to town.
And then the gas goes out into the air.
Mm-hmm. That's what don't make any
They're
sense.
not
No.
bright people.
I guess not.
No more from you, Art. Go play piano.
Damn.
Yeah, you want to hear me tinkle
Hey.
on my 12-inch pianist?
I vlog with the Hero
Hello, my
7. It's great on the
darling
run.
elbow.
That's what I use. I mean, the Hypersmooth is still really good. I don't see the reason to have you on your Harley. Maybe big difference on the 8 or the 9.
All I got on the Hero 8 was Hypersmooth 2.
Right.
And then supposedly on this Hero 9, there's some kind of new Hypersmooth.
Yeah, it's supposed to be really, really, really good.
New
If the 7 almost evens it out, and I'm telling you, man, my scooter shakes. It shakes. It's just one shaft, so when the front's moving, it's moving. So I honestly think a Hero 7 would fit your needs, man. I got the black. I think it's really good. It does a great job.
Hey, Al, what are they running for now, those 7s?
Cheap.
They're cheap,
180.
yeah. They're really cheap.
You can get them used for like 180, I think, or less.
No.
Yeah,
I
you
bought
get
mine almost a
5
year
for
ago now. I think I
a
paid
little over
$220 for it almost a year ago used. So
As soon as I buy something, they come out with a new model anyway.
What's
Yeah,
the
well-
4 and 5 going for now?
the 5 is still around like 125. The Hero
Haha,
6 is still
Carlos.
going for almost like 160. And then the Hero 7 is still like 180 to 225.
I'll keep my money in my pocket. When they drop around 50 and 60, I might splurge.
Oh, that's not gonna happen for years,
You're
bro.
going to be waiting for a long time.
Yeah, a long time, man. The
That's
Hero
why I'm-
3s are $29. The Hero 4s
Like I said, that's why I'm still using Hero 3
Yeah.
blacks.
I mean, I have them just because they're still good for super view. You know what I'm saying? They still
Yeah.
take fantastic super view footage. So.
Right.
After
But
that
if-
most improved certificate,
If you want something on power, Dre, with the Hero 7 for about $65, hold on a sec.
what's it going to get? A run cam, split 2, action cam, a Yee action cam?
The Yi 4K
Yeah.
is on power with the Hero 7, and you can buy these really cheap now because they stopped making them. They have stabilization built in. It's actually pretty good, man, and this will shoot full res 4K. So
Yeah, I like that rear screen.
yeah, well, not only it's not just that, man. It comes with a pod mount right on the bottom, screw right in,
Okay.
just like a normal camera.
Right.
Like it's got some really nice features, man. You can plug an external mic in easily, just pop, go from there, pop mic, whatever. They make it really easy, so it's on par with the Hero 7, I would say.
Would you get that on Amazon, Dan?
Actually, Rick Halber sent me that, and then after I looked it up, I was like,
wow.
wow, you can get these for a really good price. So I compared it to my Hero 7. It is pretty darn close, man, with stabilization. It's not bad.
And what kind is that?
That is the Yi 4K Plus.
And how do you spell that?
YI.
Why?
Oh,
It's real
ye
difficult.
who have faith have stabilization.
It does have stabilization. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's
I'll
good
have
to
to
hear.
look
So
into
she
that.
can get that activity back. Physical therapy, Jim?
Oh, sorry to hear, man. Speedy recovery to your wife.
I'm talking about Jim's droning, and then Carlos puts up this. The only reason
I
I
read that earlier. I was laughing. He wrote that a while back. It was pretty funny.
Yeah. Carlos
That's Carlos,
Art,
man.
Art commented on it.
Art's a tripod. Oh, my God.
Carlos says, oops. Hey, Joe.
Jeez, oh, Pete.
So anyway, I guess Adrian didn't want to hear about having to buy transponders, huh? In
No,
2.5
he didn't want
years
to hear
from
it.
now?
No,
I thought he'd be
Hey, Jim,
interested in the
I got it.
subject. Didn't he say he's getting his 107?
No, he got that course, the video course.
Art's trying to say he's bailing on us. Go ahead.
yeah, I'm ready to take off. I gotta get up early, go take a shower before these idiots here in the apartment use up all the hot water.
You're
So,
fucking lying. You're gonna go play piano.
Are they having a party
So,
up there?
Have a great evening. Thanks for
Take
all
care,
the
Art.
useless information, Jim. And,
Later, Art.
Yeah, thanks for pissing off Mitch. Okay, good night, everybody. Bye-bye.
Hey, it ain't hard to get Mitch pissed off.
You got him fired up. I just came in and he was
man.
fired up.
Mitch. Look, man. I've had a talk with Mitch about all this. Mitch is pretty set in his ways about feeling comfortable with a lot of the stuff that's happened, and that's fine. Everybody's gonna have their opinion. You know what I'm saying? I don't hold it against anybody how they feel. A lot of these guys are going to be sky pirates. Some of them are going to follow the rules. Some of them aren't. I mean, it's with any rules, there are people that are going to break them. I mean, It's what it is, man.
Always have been.
Always. It's like the people that are going to follow the rules are going to follow them. People that aren't. You know, it is what it is. You can't govern the entire world. So
Art doesn't fly anything destabilized. Oh, that's right, Carlos. I know what you're talking about.
I'm going to make the first FPV flying piano for you, Art.
I don't know how he got that changed. Hey, where did you get all your parts from? I noticed they were all foreign parts.
What's that?
That you picked up for the...
Yeah, it's because it's Cologne motor for a Honda Ruckus. So it's a Japanese motor. The displacement, the engine size, the case, everything is identical to the Honda Ruckus motor. So they make tons of performance parts for the Honda Ruckus series. So technically all the stuff I'm buying is stuff that should actually go on a Honda Ruckus. It's an actual Honda Ruckus anyways. And it all works flawlessly because it's just a Cologne motor. So all we did was take off all the external parts other than the engine itself, and then we just replaced them with all Honda parts or performance parts from Taiwan. There's a couple other companies that make some pretty decent performance parts.
Hey, if any of you guys want to jump on, there's the link.
That was the answer. eBay and ChineseScooters.com.
Oh, really? eBay?
Yep, eBay and yeah. Just type GY6 on eBay and you'll see there's a million things you can buy.
But you know something? I don't have a CBO around here, community-based organization, and we've got land where you could do it. But it specifically says no personal, like if you own the property, you can't apply for, they're limiting it to CBOs and then institutions of higher learning, whether that be a trade school or whatever. But they do say that they're not going to, remember they were originally going to shrink the amount of FAA's, the FAA authorized airspace.
Said
spots.
No woman ever.
They originally said they were going to, as a place expired, I guess you get a 1-year certificate or whatever, that they were going to just get rid of it. But now you can keep re-upping it and all that because they're realizing that there's a hell of a lot of FPV guys out there. And they were sitting there saying that, well, if the Drone Racing League or air shows want to do something, all they have to do is submit a letter to the FAA and get approval.
John, the answer to that is yes. You do need an endorsement to ride 150cc displacement. Sorry, Jim, I'm listening.
No, anything over 50 cc's, you need it, right?
Mm-hmm. It's a Class A motorcycle at that point.
Right.
Mine is officially 180 cc's. Yeah.
Here, just like drones, you have to be 49 cc's or less. If you're 50 cc's, you got to get a license.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And then that license is only a privilege to drive on the streets.
But
so when you take your actual riding course exam, is it with that scooter?
Well, no, I've had my endorsement for 8 years. I used to own a motorcycle scooter repair shop, man.
Okay.
This is all I used to do was ride bike. I used to stunt bikes, man. I'm not done with this. You're going to like it when I'm done, Al. You hate on it now. At least see what I'm doing.
I'm not hating. I'm just, I'm appreciating it.
We'll never hate, Dan. You just the butt of the jokes.
50 shot of NOS coming up next, buddy.
I still want to see him in that black leather and the helmet going by.
Dude, I thought I was dressed up enough for you. I went and got the whole headgear, the gloves, the knuckle biters. I was doing all that for you, Jim.
Dan wants to be a macho man.
And then just wear flip-flops.
Man.
Wear some flip-flops.
I want to be. I can feed into it.
You'll need a license plate, no license. So you have to register it, but no license for it.
Yeah, so it's gas and go. Florida is a gas and go state. So if you register a motorcycle, you don't have to have insurance. You just register it for however many years, whatever.
What do they call that?
2 years. What's that? Gas and go? We're a gas and go state.
Gas and go?
Gas and go means you just register it, gas and go. That's it. There's no extra bills after you get it on the road. Gas and go.
That's because we have no fault insurance. In Florida, it's nobody's fault when they crash into you.
Yep. So
You're both paying.
Yep. So the difference is, like I said, they don't require it on scooters and motorcycles because they figure most of the people that crash die anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Dude, top left is hating. That's me. Yeah. Yep. I'm putting it all on and Al's my sidekick on making fun of the
But you know what, Dan? I like the Christmas card. Just to change the subject a little bit, give you a little props, a little golf clap. The Christmas card was nice. She does wonders for you.
Who?
There are scooter gangs in the UK.
No, the young lady.
What happened?
You go.
The picture.
Christmas, yeah, the Christmas card picture you posted.
Hell yeah, man.
She does.
Jay, she keeps me tied down, bro. I'm good. She lets me do whatever I want, and I have fun.
So I asked her to blink one time, and she's been held hostage.
Hey, she keeps me tied down, bro. I'm good.
No, so I only see half of you. There you are. You forgot your door, your privacy door. So nothing changes for you anyway, Carlos. Are you happy about that?
I was never interested in the whole matter.
He didn't care anyways. He was going to fly regardless.
I saw you with Mitch, and I better stay the hell away from that.
Honestly, I wasn't trying to pull his chain. I like Mitch. I don't want to get him upset. But I was just voicing my opinion, and that's how I feel. I'm not going to get stuck into this.
Carlos is with me. We really don't care what's happening. I mean, regardless, the rules are coming. No matter how we look at it, it's going to happen.
I'm older than you, so you're with me. I'm not.
Hey.
They state right in there with their 2020 to 2040 outlook that, there's going to be 80 million drones out there, and it's untenable how they're going to control this all. And I don't know. They just see it.
Law enforcement can't afford to enforce against criminals. You think they're going to enforce against drones?
The only way they're getting involved is if they get a call. That's it. They will avoid every situation.
If you get you're acting stupid, or you're attracting attention, or you come across that occasional Karen that comes along. But I suggest, if you, and just for FPV, I don't know if you can do it with DJI drones, is have a way of showing another person who is concerned what you're doing. Second set of goggles to ride-alongs.
Right, but I've had neighbors in my driveway with me, showing them how it works. When another neighbor came up and started cursing at me and all that, the other neighbor just walked away, who was in the driveway with me. I was showing him the screen. I said, look, it's pointing at us. Look at the pretty picture.
Jim, you need to go outside dressed in some weird leathers and chains and fly and see what your neighbor has to say about it. Just make it as awkward as possible.
Dan, I was thinking.
Oh, you're biking up again, man.
Excited.
I think Jim gets no respect from his neighbors.
Yeah, well, so have fun
Right.
with it. I mean, what's the problem now? You may as well just enjoy it and have some fun.
But you know what?
To call in on you, Jim.
Right. There's a guy outside in leather. He's smacking his ass and he's flying a drone.
The police come because they were called. They say hello. They say, we know you're legal, and they drive away.
Did they say something about you looking at his daughter in a pool? Or is
Yeah,
that what I heard
yeah.
in the chat? You should have said she ain't that pretty anyway. She's an ugly bitch. So.
But the funny part of that stream was that was an actual live stream, Carlos, and he didn't know it.
Oh.
It was an actual live stream, which had nothing to do with him. It was pointed back at us the whole time.
Beat it.
My God, the thing wasn't even focused. I was just seeing how it handled with the two cameras on it.
You just need to piss him off again and just have a big speaker out there that plays
What you need
Beat It by Michael
FPV
Jackson.
Party is what you need to do. That's what I mean.
We already told Jim that. Just have all the FPV guys come over.
A bunch of people and drone crazy. He'll never
just
again.
Piss off Jim, I'll ride my scooter all the way there.
You'll never ride. You'll probably piss off your scooter more.
It'll make it, man.
Aircraft operating in the airspace of the United States, subject to these requirements. irrespective of whether they are operating for recreational or commercial purposes. So it doesn't matter if you're recreational. If you're over 200 and at 250 grams or above, you're supposed to have a transponder.
Yep. That's right, Carlos. You and me, we're going smaller. We're back to toothpick size on 4S.
I'll just.
Now, I see what I'm saying. I'm in the same boat.
But I'm not going to not fly a 5 and 6 inch because I'm worried. I fly. And I fly, and I'm not bragging. It's where I fly, right in the entrance exit of the mounted police and the highway patrol.
Yeah,
I've never been bothered. I've actually had video where I have a cop trying to catch the drone as it's landing.
Most of them don't care.
They don't. They actually like it.
Yeah.
Me, honestly, though, dude, I don't see the need for 5 or 6 inch. I really don't. I'm almost ready to get off all my 5 inches and go back to 3 inch or under. I don't. Maybe the hang time. Is that about it? That's about it. The hang time.
I gotta adjust my audio here. I'm not using my headset.
I don't know, man. I've flown 3 inch, 5 inch, 7 inch, and 10 inch now, and all of them seem to feel about the same except for 3 inch.
Let me ask you something. If you're throwing a 6S on there, or whatever is best for time-wise, how much time are you getting out of a flight?
Well, but you got to remember, man, our props are spinning way faster than your Mavics. Okay. We're putting in like 3 to 5 times the amount of juice that you are with power-ups and punches, and our discharge rating has to be much higher. So it really depends. I don't know how to answer this, Carlos, because it really depends on your setup itself. KV, we gotta measure KV against battery output. Right, then you have to add in the discharge rating. So if I gave you an average, okay, Jim, let's do this. If I gave you an average number, let's go for an average. Average number.
I don't do that.
4 minutes, 4.5 minutes, average.
Exactly.
4.5 minutes.
Anyway,
batteries.
Agent K, do I sound better?
But they keep talking about these drones. Like for the Matrice, for instance, it gets a half hour of flight.
Sure.
That's a long time. I gotta tell you, you're actually bored by the time you're bringing it in.
Unless you're looking at your neighbor's daughter.
Right. And apparently mine are fat and ugly, so.
Listen,
it's like looking at my yearbook.
I'm mad at myself for modifying the Hubsan Zeno to take larger batteries because now I'm getting such extreme flight times that I can't kill the battery in the time that I'm bored. Then I have to fly it intentionally all the way down forever just to discharge it. All right. I'm thinking about going back to stock.
I just think everybody should go fly their drone, have fun, and not even worry about this stuff.
Hey,
yeah, 2+ years.
The question was, how long of flight time do you get with the FPV?
No, I didn't sidestep it. I said if I'm giving you an estimate.
Hey,
ask the question, all right? Just ask the question. How much flight time do you get from an FPV battery? Anywhere from 2.5 to 3.5 minutes. If you fly chilled, you can get up to 5 or 6 minutes.
Right.
Also depends on the size battery, 850 milliamps, 1500 milliamps.
So
and believe it or not, what Dan was talking about before, KV
has a lot to do with your battery.
That has to do with your battery.
So, and that's why I said,
Carlos, you're a good lawyer for Dan because he's a waste of time.
No, I'm not.
I don't think you know what. No. Wait for a second. You were breaking up, so I wasn't sure if he was actually hearing you. That's why I cut in. But other than that, he is a prick. You're absolutely right. All right.
I have to take in all of the points of perspective before I can give you an answer. I had to say all that so that you would understand there is an intermediate pilot. There's an estimate in there.
Dan's acting like the girl that you want to ask to promise. She gives you 10 million excuses just to not say no in your face.
No, there's actually formulas for not only what he's talking about battery and KV, but even the pitch of the propeller is to be taken into consideration.
Oh yeah, I know. And you lose me with that C rating crap.
Do you really want me to screw with your head now?
No. Make it fun. You don't want to intimidate people or make people say, "Oh, I don't want this." Then I have to take a protractor out before you fly a drone. It's no fun.
I can take the same drone that I have right now, flying on lipo batteries. Right, I can take the same drone that I have now, serenely fly it around on 1500 mAh 4S. That's 14.8 or 16.8 a high end of the voltage. I can fly it around gracefully for probably 8 minutes. I can take the same quad with the same KV output and put a 14.8 lithium ion battery and fly it at mid-range throttle for around 27 minutes. It's a longer output battery. It's designed to be drawn off at a much slower rate of speed. I can go.
It's like the difference between deep cycle and cranking amps.
So
I think you guys talked about that before.
So, like I said, there's a lot to take in. You know what I mean? I can't give you an estimate because I don't know how people are flying. If it's a long range flyer,
but you can give an estimate around about.
Kind of.
Come on, you don't have to like break it down so like.
I do.
But how long do you want to fly? I mean, they're making drones with this.
It's kind of like saying how many miles per gallon do you get. It can be if I'm on the highway, and then if I'm in the city, everything's different.
Climbing mountains.
But there's roundabout figures. You have fat people in the car. You don't have fat people in the car.
I was happy with the 15 minutes of the original Inspire. I thought that was great. And the original Phantom 4, you were getting close to, 20 minutes better than that on the original Phantom 4? How much do you want to be flying up there? You know, if you're doing a construction job, you don't even fly that long.
No. The average time I'm in the air with GPS is like 8 minutes, and pretty much I've got everything I need in that time frame.
Try to be up there with the Evo 2 battery, which gives you like 35 minutes.
And there's a certain point.
Has anybody here flown that long straight? Have you flown 35 minutes straight?
I have.
No, I'm going to be honest with you. I've done for jobs where I had to stay up in the air, but I've never, like, as a hobbyist, stood in the air that long.
What's your name, recovery drone? What's your actual name?
Dre. No,
the
longest, like I said, I bring mine back at 30%. On average, like say when I'm out on the job, I burn the battery up because I might only spend maybe 8 minutes doing the actual job stuff, and I go out and just burn the battery off. Gotcha. That way I just keep my batteries in good shape. But like Al says, you go out there and take some shots of whatever they want to see, and you just dilly dally, get a lot of B-roll for what you want to look at later on.
I don't know. When I first bought my Mavic Air, I've told the story before. It was for the fact of flying, not photography. I could care less about 4K, 2K, 1080p, or any of that. I just like the idea that anything was flying. But I bought a Mavic Air because I didn't know about FPV. I was actually intimidated when I went to the park to fly my Mavic Air, and people like Dan or whoever,
maybe 18 minutes.
It was just intimidating. It was new to me, and then once I got into it, the party was over.
Man, you didn't look back, did you, Carlos?
And then the party was over.
That battery technology hit a wall.
I think GPS drones have their place, but it's not. What? It's funny because I'm on the ground, and even my wife and my son, hey, Dad, you go out flying. Well, technically, I didn't fly. The drone flew, and I went like this, and I made something fly.
Okay,
I didn't fly. I wasn't a pilot. But anyway, go ahead,
to hit that question, Jim, you just said battery technology hit a wall. I don't think that's accurate. Elon Musk said that he's about to release the craziest release ever for battery stuff pretty soon. Have you seen all that stuff he's been talking about?
In 2001, GM put out a car called the EV1. It did so well, they took all the cars back and smashed them and threw them away because they were scared to death of battery technology and the fact that it was going to put their gasoline cars out of business.
Out of business, yeah. Elon Musk.
Here we are now, 19 years later, fighting with battery technology that they've bought up companies and put out of business because their batteries were so good.
But Elon Musk is an OG, man. He is an original gangster. He doesn't care. He just does stuff, whether people like it or they don't. He's going to drop it. The tech's going to hit the table.
We've got a spot in a parking lot with 16 spots for pulling your car up and plugging it in. I haven't seen any of these electric cars, but the facilities to charge them are here.
Are there?
Yeah.
That's all because of the changes in the building code. Once you hit that, I think the limit of 10 parking stalls, you have to have at least one EV stall / ADA stall for every 10 spaces.
Oh my God! You people in California, I'm surprised that's not different.
Like, that's coming across the
electric
country,
spots, you have one real car spot.
Well, see that how they get EV ADA, which is basically handicap.
Damn that mic of yours, man!
And I know
Can you unplug it and plug it in? Maybe did you try that at all?
Yeah, Curtis says if battery tech improves, it kills the battery sales. Yeah.
Bob Casey?
Mr. Bob. Good evening.
Brother Bob.
Hey, it's Ray Smelly. What's up?
Okay, hear me better now?
Yes.
And
Yeah,
consistent.
probably
too.
the mic. But I was saying that that's coming across the country, Jim, is because it deals with handicap access. So for every 10 spaces, you have to have at least one EV/ADA, which is your handicap spots. And then when you have a handicap spot, that means you provide a van accessible spot also.
That's right.
Get two.
It's when you move your head
Okay,
too.
Jim froze, everybody froze, everybody's patching it out because it's just me.
I can
Dre,
hear you.
Frozen.
what,
You're
Dre,
frozen, but we kind of
what is your
you're back.
address, Ray?
You're back.
What is your address? I'm broke, and I'm going to send you some headphones, my friend. All right.
I actually have an old pair of Turtle Beach ones, but they click in and out.
Turtle Beach.
These-
Wait a
and
minute.
these are
That's for
Turtle-
video games, no?
And these are Turtle Beach wireless ones I have
these
here.
in a while. I have
Yeah,
the glow ones, the ones that light up.
Yeah, I
And you
have
throw
the
it
Yeah, these Razer
I have the-
headphones light up.
I have the older ones I have are the Tango Beach
You're a gamer.
Call of Duty, and these are the wireless ones here that I
Somewhere
have
over
still.
Well, that's
Yeah.
Reason why I don't,
But wait.
because until Jim and Aiden, all these guys dragged me into this stuff, I never got on YouTube for streaming live shows
Do you,
and
do you
stuff.
have cell phone headset?
No, don't
Okay.
mess with headset.
No,
Don't
you know
mess
the
with
little ones that they usually throw in the box.
these
Yeah,
things.
I
Use these cheap.
I used to throw them to my daughters.
Oh, okay.
Tim,
Good.
Tim, don't say that. Don't say that, Tim. You're not allowed to say that. Tim is cut off from talking.
No, we're all good, Dan. You know,
I remember watching shows about guys who owned battery companies. This one dude was really old, and he sold it out just for them to close it down.
Yeah,
This was in the 90s.
they have
You know, I wouldn't doubt there's a cure for cancer, but because there's too many
The money.
they
Cancer
companies do
hospitals.
that all the time. They buy out other companies and then they kill the product.
Yep.
Kill the product.
great land of America.
So
That's
Yeah.
ridiculous. How that's and now all of a
that's
sudden,
how you
like
control
said,
capitalism.
yeah,
Which then really isn't capitalism. I think.
No, you're killing off of products just to slow down technology so you can keep your stuff on the shelf. Because like you said, like Jim was saying about the EV1, if that would have been as successful in a marketing area, who could imagine where we'd be at today?
right.
Because they would have improved that system every other year just to make sure it stayed on the market.
I tell you what, you know what? Here's the other thing, and I think even in Florida, they have you can actually make your own Elon Musk wall. I forget what they call it right now, and you can have batteries and you can do all the solar. But I think in Florida they don't allow you to be off grid if you wanted to. You have to be on the grid, and you can't even collect water in some states.
You can't
Like
be off.
they don't. Shut up for a second, please. They don't want you to be off grid. They want you to be dependent on the whatever municipality, government,
correct.
city, state. So let me tell you, I'm sorry that I got in your way, Dan. Your
Florida
turn,
Power
Dan.
and Light is making its own solar fields right now. Go ahead, Dan.
No, Carlos, I was stopping you there at the water thing because the water thing, no matter what, if you're in city, you have to be tied into the water. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You're even paying.
Collecting it, though.
So that
you can potentially lower your water bill.
You're even paying if you have a well in Florida. They don't care. They just don't care. You're paying.
Right.
Well,
Your meter's spinning no matter what. Now, as far as solar goes,
man.
you can't be completely off grid. You can. It's weird how they do it here. You can have solar panels, and they say it reverses your meter, which isn't accurate. It may slow your meter down, but it does register
reverse
how much
the meter.
solar is going in, and then you can get paid back for that at the end of the year.
Or you don't get charged. One or the other.
Yeah.
Right.
If you produce more than you're using, then you get a credit.
You get
So-
a
But
credit.
here's the other thing: if the power goes out, you don't have power because
True.
they also don't
Battery
allow you
backup
to
system.
store batteries, and they should allow that. So that's the beauty of solar, that you have electric when nobody else does, because you have,
That is the phase.
I know
we're
that
here
they
in
don't want the
California.
electric going back to electrocute people, but there has to be a way to shunt.
Let me help you,
that
Joy.
off.
Okay, what we
Uh,
saying?
I was saying that is the growing trend in California now. Is that you go with a battery backup system, which can also kick on a generator.
Right. We use
Yeah,
generators.
Was I just talking to myself?
now we're going out. I think Al can probably attest to this. It happens more in Northern California, maybe Southern California, to where we're having public safety mandatory outages on purpose. So now that's the big selling point of having a battery backup system along with a generator system, so your house does not go completely dark. But it depends upon how many batteries you buy, how big a generator you got, how much power you're gonna have in the house.
Technically,
And how much sun?
They're turning off the power on people if the wind gets above 15 miles per hour now. They feel like if it's
Where
getting
is
blowing
this?
in
California. Rolling blackouts.
Why is this?
we call
Why?
it rolling blackouts or public safety blackouts. In other words, the winds reach up to about 15, 20 miles per hour. They'll get a text on the phone and you'll possible public safety issue concerning power outages. Our power is getting
When they
gone
use
off
a grass blower and a lawnmower, isn't that more than 20 miles an hour? What are they going to do with
Well, you got to remember that
I don't know,
PG&E
20 miles an
started,
hour?
their Pacific Power and Gas, or whatever they're called, was the one that started one of their largest fires ever because the power line broke.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You guys would have to tell us more about that. I'm not going to profess to know anything about that.
Yeah, and like I say, 15, 20 miles per hour winds don't sound like a lot. I was flying in it actually, but they're looking at if the branch breaks off a tree, it's a power line, cause break, spark, whatever. There's your forest fire.
Yep.
California's just a dry state. That's all it is, especially down in Southern
There's
California.
no deforesting out here either.
They might want to consider underground power lines then.
That's always the thing. When you're out there in the middle of no man's land, you're always going to take up everything in the air.
Chris Hope, House of Hope in the
on
house.
the ground.
House of Hope entered the chat. House of Hope.
But Mr. Chris Hope?
Hope.
Yep.
Mr. Chris Hope, the singing cowboy?
Hope.
Yeah, Santa Claus.
Okay, so technically, if you're running your house off a generator, are you not off grid?
Yeah.
Well, like I say, how long is the generator going to last?
That's not the point.
10 hours.
What do you consider off the grid?
Well, like I said, get
Off
off
the
the grid
grid is
24/7. You can stay off the grid.
Independent of electric and water and anything from your city, state, or municipality. That's off the grid. Because there's homes that have backup generators in case the electric goes out.
Yes.
They're either propane or gas.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I can
That's
tell
not
you
off
what's
the
getting
grid.
crazy out here
Generac.
is the
Generac.
homeless population. I don't know if it is like that down in LA.
And
But
California is
man,
supposed to be big.
Dude, I was up in Santa Cruz on the freeway, and they have homeless community off the freeway, and it's tents lined up for yards, like hundreds of yards. It's incredible. It's sad and it's incredible.
We have that problem down
have
here.
you heard anything about all these homeless people dying and falling over and because of this Heineken stuff?
You don't hear.
Yeah,
anything.
exactly, because it's all bullshit. That's why. And they're not over there wearing their masks and anything. They're all chilling, hanging out, keeping warm or eating.
Al has a video. Was that a video or just something you showed us where they were building?
They're popping up. No, they're building homeless camps, like for.
No, they had that
homeless off the
by
freeway.
the South Street Seaport under the FDR Drive. They had a very similar thing. A whole bunch of tents and
like trailers.
What do they call that?
No, these are actual trailers being built by the city, by the
really?
California government.
No, that's a whole different story.
Yeah, they got those down in LA, just on empty parking lots. They're leasing the land
Well,
off
you know
whoever,
what?
and they throwing those FEMA trailers in there.
That's not such a bad thing. Put them to use, I guess.
Well,
the only problem with a lot of these places are sanitation, and these people end up being pigs if they clean up after themselves.
Oh, they're putting porta potties. It's incredible. They're putting porta potties.
And as long as they keep clean, then better than
camping.
have them in the street. Some of these people actually are homeless, not for their own, because they couldn't help it. Legit reasons. Some of them because they want to be.
If they're legit reasons like, I couldn't work because I lost my job to COVID, and now the mortgage company said, gee, that's too bad. We're taking your house. That I understand. And
but
I
even
like
that for a
President
little while, too.
Trump put a moratorium on that where they can't pull that crap. But just because you're a drug addict and you're homeless, should I be
Wake
dumping
up,
you in a
Dan.
trailer?
Right.
Mm. What did I do? What?
Yeah, you was nodding off something.
Oh yeah.
We weren't
Yeah,
arguing
I'm
about it,
following it.
Bill. We were just trying to talk about it, and Mitch got all pissed off. I don't know. Carlos
calling
got him wound up the other night.
No, I did not. Why are people saying I got to?
You
Stop
got him
pissing
wound
Mitch
up.
off, man.
It wasn't me at
Gary.
all.
I'm out of here. I gotta go. I'm getting tired.
You look tired.
Yeah, I am. I'm tired. I've been tired, I think.
All right, Dan, we're going to exit out together. So let's hold hands.
Hey, who's your buddy working on that with you?
What's that?
Who's that buddy working on that with you?
It's my boy Critter. He's a hell of a mechanic. He loves his beer, though, boy. He's fun. He's more fun when he's drinking, working on stuff. He's more entertaining. But
He knew what he was doing too, though, right?
Yeah.
He was
Well, yeah.
redoing
I mean,
one thing I was
yes.
going to say to you: when those wires are so old, they get brittle.
brittle. But remember, this has been garage kept for 9 years, so it was in really good shape when I got it. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, it only has 1,000 miles on it. That's how I'm looking at it.
Right.
It's 15 years old with 1,000 miles on it. It was owned for 5 years by the guy, and then he barely rode it, gave it to his sister. His sister parked it for 9 years, and it sat. So it's got 1,000 miles on it. Everything's basically new, so I decided to replace everything with Honda parts and call it a day. And now it runs like a friggin' top. You'll see. I'm doing Postmates with it here. I just finished setting it up in the garage. Cup holders, all the good stuff. Al, you get to hate even more, bro. I might even get some full leathers.
I never hate on anybody's stuff.
Did you say cup holders?
Cup holders, yeah.
Why do you need to drink while you're driving?
It has nothing to do with drinking. It has to do with picking up people's food orders. Where are you going to put the drinks while you're driving?
Oh, you're using this for work?
Yeah. I didn't want to just. I wanted to put it to work if I was going to own it, not just have it. I wanted to actually like do Postmates and deliveries with it. It's just so much more gas efficient than my truck.
Oh yeah, you should get like 30, 40 miles a gallon on that.
Exactly. I get more than that. I think more like 65. But yeah.
I had a Honda Reflex. What was it? 250cc. That was my first.
Amazing.
My first scooter.
These two would disagree with you, but they are amazing. That's what I wanted instead of this.
It was
this
fun.
was such a good deal. Yeah.
Well, I was afraid. I was 50 years old. I got into my midlife crisis thing. I said, let me ride a motorcycle.
Dude.
And in New York,
Man,
Jim, I could tell you, in New York, come on.
Look, Carlos, smoothest ride you've ever been on, was it?
It was beautiful.
Utter.
It was
utter,
we
dude.
don't want to hear about that fat chick.
Luxury, dude. That's what I wanted. I almost got a Reflex before I got this, but this was such a good deal I couldn't pass.
But then I got a Honda VLX.
Yeah.
And then I started shifting gears, and I got a little bit more comfortable with all that.
Do you even have a parking space, Carlos?
I used to have a garage space, but not anymore. Now I park in the street now.
Because it's $18 million, right?
What?
To maintain a parking space in New
No,
York?
mine was. I actually had 2 spots for $150. It's $100 a month.
A month.
Carlos, where do you live out in New York?
Queens, New York, about a mile west of St. John's University.
Oh, okay. Wow. All right.
Right there.
I'm
So,
originally from
so
Close,
raised
about
in Bronx, moved out
3 or
to
4
Cali.
miles to City Field. Say again.
I was born and raised in the Bronx.
You got
Castle
people. You got people.
Oh, yeah.
If you're born and raised like in either Brooklyn or Manhattan, they never owned a car. They just take the subway, and that's
Especially
that.
Manhattan. Especially Manhattan.
So, like I said, Jim, the only reason I didn't buy a motorcycle is because I made my mom a promise I wouldn't own another motorcycle in Florida, full-size motorcycle.
Well,
I know
that's a
you've had.
promise, not a bad thing.
Yeah. I've had plenty of bikes, man.
I know you used to be a man.
Oh, yeah.
I am
Oh,
not going to
yeah.
stop. I am not going to stop on you for buying a scooter.
They already asked you have a motorcycle license, right?
God,
It's my
yeah.
job as an American.
Well, is it the same thing? Make a figure 8 U-turns?
Well, no, because I took it through
Simple
Harley,
test.
so we got all the aggressive riding classes. If you take it here in
No, not
Florida,
the classes, the actual test. I
aggressive
mean.
riding classes come with it. What's that?
No, the actual test. They just make you do simple stuff to get a
No,
motorcycle.
it's more than that. You have to remember their whole stupid process because they give you bikes. I think it's a 500 Bullard or something like that. I think that's what it was. It wasn't a Boulevard. What was the company that you would know this, Jim?
Yuki?
You're a
That was
Harley
Kawasaki.
fan. What is the other company that works with Buell? Buell. It was a 500 Buell. That's what we trained on when we did
Buell?
ours. And that's what
In fact, if you go to Harley school, they use a Buell.
Yeah, Buell, and that's what I did. I
When I
took
took
the
a
Harley
motorcycle
Buell,
riding
and
course, it was a Suzuki 250.
Yeah.
My big
I
ass
know.
was on a small little bike. It was horrible.
not
For 5
not.
days.
Oh yeah.
Dan, when
Yeah,
you
I
take
took a
the
rider's
course
course,
here,
dude.
you're riding
What's
a
that?
Buell. If you
Yeah.
take the motorcycle safety
Right.
course here, you're riding a Buell. Yet you
That's-
got a 1,000-pound motorcycle outside. That's
Yep.
got nothing to do with that.
I know.
that
Yeah,
little
they make you go through. They make you go through the whole sequence. They're like, okay, turn the key on, check your presets, make sure your fuel's turned on,
You
check
gotta
this,
have
check
gloves
that.
and boots
I
and
was
all
like,
that
oh
shit.
my god, this is crazy. Can I just ride? Because I've been riding dirt bike, motor. Like, this is nothing new to me, but it was frustrating. Then you got to wait for everybody who sucks, doesn't know how to ride. And then you're like,
Jeez Louise.
it does. Because it takes entire days to get through it, Carlos. You know what I'm saying? They should just have a group like, have you ridden before? Yes. All right. Here's your class. Go take the test. If you can pass, you pass. Right? You shouldn't have to go through the whole like thing
Oh
if you
no,
already
I
know how to
didn't have
ride.
to. I could have just taken the test.
Yeah,
But
you
don't
can't
have
do
to
that
take-
here.
You don't have to take
Can't
driving
do that
lessons
here.
to take a permit
If you've
test.
been riding since
Okay.
1975, do I still have to take the test when I go to another state? Yeah, because
Yes.
You think so? Yeah.
Florida
Yep.
didn't like my New York State license with the endorsements on it.
Yeah, anytime you move, you got to get your endorsement back wherever.
No,
state
no
you-
more riding for me.
So Carlos, I fixed that. Guess how I
That-
fixed it?
That what?
I
The
never got it.
motorcycle thing? Oh, you didn't bother. My
See,
sister-in-law
if
just
you want
sent
to
me
see
an
my
article.
motorcycle license, they can check New York City's Department of Motor Vehicles.
My sister-in-law sent me an article. Alaska drones to deliver medical supplies. Alaskan drones to deliver medical supplies.
Do you even ride, bro?
Do you still ride, Carlos?
No. No. I mean, in New York, come on, you know what it's like, Jim. I used to
Yeah.
drive from here out to Brookville, out to Sands Point, out to Lloyd Harbor, places that were single roads and nobody. Around here, I've had people on single lanes pass me on where people are supposed to park because I'm obeying the speed limit. So it was getting
Seriously
dangerous.
taking your life in your hands.
Yeah, and my son was only like 3 or 4. I was insured back then, and I said, all right, what the hell? I'm worth more dead than alive at this point. But
Oh, you can't lane split in New York, right?
No, you can't lane split in
Why can't
Florida.
lane-
you should
And
never
lane
do
split in
that.
Florida either. Yeah.
You should never lane split anyway. That's
You're
not-
supposed
It's
to,
legal
like,
here in California. You gotta
somebody
lane split.
changes a lane while you're lane splitting, or just do something stupid like
Well,
They
Yeah.
open their car door.
spit.
In New
There's
York,
signs
they
out
open
in,
their car door on you.
Yeah.
in California, they got signs up on the side of the freeway. Look out for motorcycles lane splitting. It's legal. It's legal here.
It should
That's
be
nuts.
because
Yeah,
we're
the
not the ones
traffic's
causing
bad,
the
dude.
traffic jam. Yeah.
Do you have an HOV?
You're not even allowed.
Yes, we do have
You're
HOV, but you're still lane split in HOV lane because the traffic's so slow.
No, motorcycles
Jim.
should just be allowed to ride in HOV lanes.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. But there's still you're still traffic in it. That's how bad the traffic
Oh, really?
is.
It's still held up.
It's still held up. It's pretty bad.
You're not even allowed to zigzag in Florida. You have to wait 5 to 7 seconds before changing lanes again on a bike. You're not allowed to just go through traffic like this.
I don't know, but if you remember, one of the tickets you can get is weaving in your lane. They used to
Well,
love
back
using-
in the same lane? That's crazy. I've never
Yeah.
had that happen. Because I intentionally ride like this sometimes just for
They
fun.
use that to give you DUIs in New
Oh,
York. He was
That's
weaving inside
ridiculous.
his own lane.
I do it just to entertain myself while I'm riding.
Well, that's true. Actually, the worst time I have riding is for when it's slow, like 20 mile an hour riding.
Yeah.
Because of traffic. Because the front end of the bike is so damn heavy, you're tired of putting your friggin' feet down.
Yep.
Apparently,
Yeah.
Bob Casey took a fall in the
You
past.
started late.
Laid
I
him
don't
up
know.
for
I
60.
started in 75. How many years is that?
Well,
Gary, what started
45,
as kids?
45 years. 45 and going on.
do math.
You got to take your clothes off to count to 21, I hear.
I had a Honda 750.
Barely.
That was what I started with. And that's what I say, because you could go anywhere and get parts for a Honda 750. They were so ubiquitous, it was unbelievable. Cables break on you, all that crap. I bought one that was sitting outside forever, Dan. The brakes were locked up solid,
Oh, yeah.
front and rear.
That's what we just went through with this. It was all locked up. I had to get a whole new master cylinder for the front brake. The rear brake was all stuck shut. It's been a fun. It's a fun project though. It's a fun project. I like projects.
How did you unstick them?
Okay, so I knew that the master cylinder was shot because when I pulled off the top, all of the .4 brake fluid was gone and it was corrosion inside there. I went, oh, those seals are shot. So I've removed the entire master cylinder, ordered a whole new master cylinder, and then I cleaned the brake lines. There was corrosion all in the brake lines, sprayed them out, carb cleaner spray, got all those cleared out. And then I took the caliper and I just went ahead and blew compressed air through it and pulled the bleeder valve out and shot some carb cleaner through there and then cleaned it real good and then put it all back together and it worked fine.
Then
Jim, real quick.
Yeah.
Do you need a Part 107 to post videos on YouTube?
Yeah.
Yes.
Even if you're not monetized?
Yeah.
No.
It's a copy. You're the copyright holder.
No, but even if you're not like, if a knucklehead like me wants to post videos on YouTube,
monetized, don't worry about it.
Yeah,
okay.
no.
Right,
it's funny. It's funny, and this is the reason why I don't care, because go ahead and tell me that I use somebody else's copyrighted music during my drone flight. I make no money off the video, but they make the money. Who has to now have the license?
Not you.
See what I'm saying?
Puts an ad on your non-monetized channel.
Exactly.
That's YouTube's benefit, not yours.
So how is it fair that YouTube is not going to go after the copyright holder for my drone content video, but they will go after me? It doesn't seem fair.
because they have a bigger wallet than you do.
But you see what I'm saying? So when I go to the courtroom, that's going to be my argument. Well, so you're willing to hold me accountable, but you won't hold the copyright holder who is making money off my drone footage because of their music liable? How does that work? I'm confused. I thought this was court of facts. Facts say that this person here is the person to be held accountable, not Dan. So
Dan, do you have a button? Mel was saying that you guys who are monetized, I am not monetized, that you guys who are monetized, there's a button there in the copyright department that shows you when someone else is using one of your videos. True?
I've been alerted by other people that somebody's used my content. I've never actually received something saying that somebody was using my content. I'm sure if the fragment of footage was big enough, right, then it might pick it up, but I've never had it happen. I've had people point out that somebody's used my footage, and then I have to go, hey, man, you didn't ask. If you had asked, I would have just said yes.
Yeah.
Kenny said copyright. Yeah, match tool.
Sorry, but
copyright match tool. That's what it's called, bro.
Interesting.
Yeah. What was that?
Yeah, and you want to look in that tomorrow and give me a summary? The
of
match
what?
tool. The match tool.
I mean, I'm sure I can.
Right. I want a 2-page report, no less than 500 words. Thanks.
Sir, I got it.
That's got to be double spaced lines, right? And numbered.
I'll let him pick.
12.
As long as there's 500 words.
Like a legal document. Double spacing, numbered on the side. So line 18 says, yes, you're screwed.
I guess
had to give another channel notice of takedown last week.
Yeah. I've had it happen. I've had to give people notice before just because they would steal your whole video.
What is a notice of takedown? What is a notice of takedown?
YouTube is not a big help in this department.
No.
They're a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
I had to give them the exact, down to the second, of how much of the video was used and all that shit.
Fucking Ken Heron. Okay, sorry.
Well, I'm just saying.
I had to. Sorry. Go ahead.
I'm just saying. I mean, so Ken.
What does it? I'm sorry, Jim. Real quick. What does it mean? This takedown notice.
Okay, if someone uses your video, Kenny can either ask them to take it down, or he can have YouTube shut down their channel for stealing his work.
So how do you know if they're playing your stuff if you're not monetized?
Right.
I think it's that tool thing.
I don't have the tool.
If you're not monetized.
Oh, you have to be monetized to have the tool thing? Is that what I'm understanding? Cardozo?
Yeah.
That's what I'm assuming, yeah. Kenny's probably monetized.
The only way I know is when you guys tell me.
I feel like there's so much gray area with YouTube and monetizing videos when it comes to drone footage that they still haven't even gotten it squared away yet. I wouldn't be surprised if Michael gets completely off the hook with all this stuff. The 182,000, whatever. I have a feeling that this is just going to dig deep and it's going to be over really quickly, and I don't think they're going to punish him. So, well, I mean, and that would tell you exactly how much gray area there really is if they can't really enforce it.
Let me tell you something. They specifically state in the rules because of bad actors These
I
rules
know.
are here because of bad actors. So it's almost like saying, go thank your friends. They actually use the words.
What Jody say? Lawyer, pick your own jury.
Yeah, only people in the YouTube partnership program have access to that feature of the match, copyright match.
So
how
that
did you
means
find
you have that feature available to you, Dan. Technically,
Yeah, I'll check it out. I don't really care, but I'll
Jim,
check
how
it
did
out.
you find out when
Oh,
someone was
friends.
using their? Okay.
My
and I'm
friends
with
tell
Bob
me.
Casey and everything he just said. Forget YouTube,
Dude, if I got to
107
pick,
and all that stuff.
if I got to pick my own jury, I'd pick everybody that hates me for my jury. It would be more fun that way.
Yeah, it's got nothing
Just
that ever
kidding.
come back at you, Bob. Because YouTube is the one making the money if they're putting an ad on your channel. They're getting paid to put that ad out on people's channels. And now they're telling us they don't give a damn whose channel they're putting it on.
Gray area out the wazoo. That's why I said it's not. I just don't feel like they can hold you accountable for it, man. I really don't.
What?
Not unless YouTube sits down with the FAA and says this is what we're going to do and this is how we're going to do it moving forward. They have to do that, otherwise it's not going to work.
I have noticed on some people's videos. I don't know if you guys are putting your own, like you have those who are monetized, like you, Dan, certain long videos. There seems like a commercial cut on like every fucking 2-3 minutes.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, so you'll notice it more if it's a live stream. You'll notice they broke it down into huge segments. I don't know why, based on viewership, or they thought it was going to get a lot of views, whatever. I do get to choose, like when I upload content, right? I do get to choose, like, okay, I want non-skippable ads. I tested that for a while just to see what would happen, and you really don't make much like money at all, anyways. So it really didn't seem to matter whether it was skippable or non-skippable. I guess if you had a higher CPM, clicks per million, then maybe you'd probably make more for non-skippable. But I didn't notice a huge difference, man. But I do notice that they are doing it randomly to some of my videos now. I agree with that. I will say one at the beginning, one at the end, and then somehow there'll be two in the middle. I don't know where those are coming from. That two random ones just in there. Like I didn't tell them to put them there. So
And you can't skip them. That's what I hate.
no, I know it's frustrating.
You're in the middle of what, like if you're talking and describing something or how to do something, all of a sudden there's damn two commercials back to back. The second one you can skip, but the first one you got to watch the whole ad, and then the second one will have the 5-second countdown.
Doubling up on them now. It's getting really ridiculous, man.
Right. You can be your own lawyer.
That's when you get up and you do something.
I mean,
keep busy for a few seconds.
all my drone footage.
That drink.
All my drone footage right now is going up with copyrighted content. Like I'm not aiming to make money off those videos. I just, you know what I'm saying? Like any video I'm posting now with a drone video just has copyrighted music. That way they can chase whoever they want to. It's not me. I don't care. Chase away. You know.
What I heard, and I agree with this, if they're going to put they're going to put ads on my channel, that takes away from the guys who are monetized. Takes money away from them.
Sure.
Wait a minute. Unmonetized channels get ads? No.
Yes.
YouTube decided.
YouTube.
YouTube decided, 2 weeks ago? They put out an email saying that they decided that they can put it on anybody's channel, monetized or not. They don't give
Carlos, fuck your feelings. YouTube's going to do it whether you want them to or not.
Well, then I'm going to have to take it like a man, like those kids that don't like the likes and dislikes. Just going to have to fuck it.
Hey, Mike B in the chat. What's up, brother?
Kenny said, I did a test by uploading a longer video, and they did it.
Yeah. Yeah, it seems to be if it's a certain, you might be right, man, a certain length, maybe over 10 minutes, 8 minutes. I don't know. I did notice it, I guess, on my longer videos. That makes sense. If it's a shorter video, like 6 minutes or under, then it doesn't seem to do it. It's one at the beginning, one at the end.
They're on every tutorial I watch. If I watch tutorials on DaVinci Resolve.
Because they're long as fuck.
They're at least 15 minutes, right?
Yeah. Like, oh, well, look, we can fit 8 ads in here. Let's see if they deal with it.
And
the best way to hit YouTube is to use another platform. That would be the best way.
I think it's coming, man.
Mitch was saying Rumble or something to that effect. You've mentioned Discord's been around for a while. I don't know if you can play videos.
But it's not video, no.
The issue is, though, every time some company steps up to the plate to try to do it, if they get any kind of growth pattern at
YouTube's
all,
gonna buy 'em?
Google just steps in and goes, "Okay, we're purchasing it. It's done," and then they make it part of their system. So they're just.
But at least they'll send
nobody there to
messenger
fight Google on it. You know, every time they do, they just buy out all the stock and then they own it.
You got to figure Google bought YouTube in 2006.
Right. Well, technically, YouTube is Google. Google is YouTube.
Well,
Right.
they got all these divisions now. That wing division just for experimental aircraft and all this other stuff. It's crazy, man. But you're getting it so, like, how many people sell food in this country? 5 corporations. You know what I mean?
Monsanto, buddy, Monsanto.
Monsanto will sue the farm next door if they find one plant on
They
it
don't want people having seeds.
that
They don't
came
want
from
farmers
its
having
seed.
seeds.
Yep, I saw that show. You saw that documentary, right?
And I've read about stuff like this.
I
But-
saw the documentary. Put people completely out of business because seeds blew onto their farm.
Nasty,
Crazy.
nasty. I don't want to get into
Hi,
the
Curtis.
Take care, Curtis.
You did hear me, Bob, aka the Drone Ranger, said hello to everyone.
But I'm about to call Mike B.
Yeah,
on the phone, so
I'm about to
Mike-
go eat some dinner. It's getting
Yeah.
late. Well, not late
Yeah.
here, but
Yeah.
Mike B.
Almost 10. It's
Mike-
that time.
all right, guys.
Mike B.
Take care, y'all. Have a good one.
Night,
Later.
Al.
Good
Thanks,
evening.
Jim. Later on in chat.
Mike B. Real quick, man. Turn on your Facebook Messenger so I can call you. Get by your phone or something. I haven't talked to him in forever. I don't know if you guys talked to Mike B. He's really cool.
Well, he
That
used
might
to
be out
pop
of his choice.
and at least talk with his avatar on, but he don't do that anymore.
Yeah. He's busy. He's a busy guy. I'm sure health is probably catching up to him a little bit too. So.
Nah, I don't even want to talk about that.
Oh no, I've got tip surgery coming up. I got my endoscopy on the 6th, tip surgery on the 27th. Right after that, I've got my inguinal hernia, and then I have my
Did you say TIP tip
tips
surgery?
TIPS.
Yeah, tips.
Tips what? What does that mean? Like, unless
it
you
up.
don't want to.
I'll tell you what. You can either look it up, or I'm sure Jim can give you a really good explanation of it.
How about just really simple, not too graphic?
Because it's not simple. It's a little more complicated than that.
All right, never mind. I'll trust you. I'll look it up.
They're
on
gonna mess
Google.
with my heart and my liver. Heart and
Really?
liver. Yeah. Dan goes
Wow.
in for some pretty extreme surgery here pretty soon.
They do want to corner the market, Bob. Look at Tyson Foods. They own all the chicken farms.
Not Purdue.
If you don't play by their rules, they can put you out of business because nobody will buy your chickens.
So much for capitalism again.
Well, the only capitalism you'll get is watching documentaries on Netflix. They're not on TV.
It's crazy.
They don't have the balls to air the document because they get paid not to.
Hmm.
You know, the news. If it bleeds, it leads.
Okay,
If a drone crash happens, then it'll be on the news. If a drone flies and nothing happened, it'll never be on the news.
We can't understand, me and Carlos can't understand why this is affecting even the FPV pilots at all, because most of us don't even fly over 150 feet. We are so close to the ground and not bothering anybody, especially actual aircraft, in the slightest, that we can't even figure out why FPV was even a part of the whole thing. But whatever.
You know what? I wonder about that whole RDQ collecting money. Like, you
Okay.
think that's like the RDQ's uncle or cousin that's the lawyer that's going to go
No.
and defend the case or something?
Okay,
That
bear in
seems
mind,
waste of money.
I talked to Brendan about this, right? I got a hold of Tyler, okay? And I had a very long
Just
conversation.
for the
with
record,
Tyler.
who is this person?
Tyler's the guy that runs RDQ. Okay.
Is he the ex Air Force dude or
Race day quads, right?
No, Ray Stay Quads. He's the owner of Ray Stay Quads.
Right.
Right.
And
He's
I
not
thought that
military or
message should have been
ex-military?
heard.
I've never asked. I don't know. I have no idea. I just through FPV, we got communicated a while ago. I started talking to him. Anyways, I reached out to him when all this was going down, and I think he's being solid about this. I really do. I'm not sure that I don't think there's a way he can give the money back now, right? But he was only saying that we are gearing up for this. If you can donate, please do, because let's say this didn't go our way, then he was ready to fight it 100%. So I don't think it was really like, okay, we lost money on this. Yeah, maybe we did. But at the same time, if anything else pops up because of this, Tyler has the money to fight it now. And he did. They were putting in all sorts of legal stuff, man. If you go to RDQ's website, you can see all the track record of everything that they've been doing on RDQ. He keeps everybody up to date with the money that was spent, how they were spending it, what they were doing with the money. So, I mean, Tyler's a pretty solid guy. I think he really was out for the common interest of everybody in the community, not just the FPV guys, but the GPS guys as well. He was willing to fight this tooth and nail and solve it if he had to. But luckily, I think we came out kind of on top of this. The majority of everything really kind of panned out. There are still some things that I'm not happy about, but I'm not bringing that up again.
And like I said when I put out that NPRM, Dan, it's an evolving document because they're also relying on tomorrow's technology.
Right.
Okay, because they don't know. They're making this whole transmitter module, broadcast module.
Yep.
Companies have 18 months to come up with it, to make it and come up with it.
Yeah,
18 months, that's it.
In essence, that means Tyler was looking at it like it was going to hurt everybody and all these things, but I don't think he knew what was actually coming. And Carlos, you have to agree with that. He didn't know what was coming. He was ready to fight all this stuff, like you have to have your cell phone connected to do these things, and you have to be, you know what I'm saying? That's what he was gearing up for. And then when all this got released, Tyler was like, oh, wow, this is way better than we expected it was going to be. They realized they couldn't do half the stuff that they wanted to us. That dropped half the fight off right there. You know what I'm saying?
I think it didn't bother me because I was pretty much ignorant to the whole thing, and I didn't really follow up other than a few live streams where people were going back and forth, and I just kept saying, well, I'm just going to fly.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I was saying too. I'm just going to fly. I don't have to upload stuff to YouTube. That was the whole reason for getting into motovlogs and other stuff. I'm chasing other things now. I can't just do the drone stuff, man. You can't just show people. Well, you can't just show people drone footage. The people aren't watching.
Oh no, as far as you're concerned, yeah. But I mean, that's a whole different. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm aiming more.
I'm having fun. I'll put up my videos. Right. I share them for friends and my YouTube friends and my family. My family is sick of my YouTube videos. But anyway, that's what it's for me. This is a hobby and a way of hanging out with people.
You know, it's like with FPV that you're doing. You're having fun doing it, but you put it on YouTube. How many of the same videos can you put up? Like Mitch, right. He just keeps putting up videos of flying in the
you got to go in different places. Well, that's
how many of those videos can you put up? It's construction. How many construction videos do you want to see?
No, you're right. You're right. But me and Paul, we're trying to figure out different places and different nutty stuff that we can come up with our little whoops.
And that's
and just things to get away. I don't know. Just and it's fun. And we're having fun at the same time.
Yeah, that's fun.
That's what's fun about FPV though. Is like everywhere you go is a new place. You could drive two blocks down the road
with this little thing.
That's not accurate, bro. Come on, man.
What I'm saying is in normal, like I can go in Manhattan and fly that anywhere. I can't do that with a 3-inch or a 5-inch.
Why not? Well, you 3-inch.
Maybe I'll try a 3-inch one day, but at this point,
get the Cinewoop 3-inch version. Inducted motors. That way, if you hit stuff, it's not going to break things.
Yeah, that might be true.
Does it Gary, you want to see all those construction videos? I'm sure.
But,
I get like 30 seconds of watch time out of a 3-minute video. Because it's boring. You got, I understand.
That's my point. We're talking 5 years later now since we all started. Well, yeah. I don't know. Since I started. Yeah. 5 years later. Since I've been posting openly on YouTube, 5 years. We've had 5 years to just absorb drone footage after drone footage after drone footage. It's not the same anymore unless you're wowing people. You can go out and take the coolest shots in the world of your area and think it's cool, but a lot of people are like, oh, I've seen this before. This is nothing new. And that's why FPV gets set apart, because when you go fly FPV, if you change locations and you do different things, you're offering people different scenery every single time. Yeah. You don't have to drive 200 miles from your house to go get cool footage with a GPS drone. Whereas FPV, I can just drive up the block, find a new parking lot, and go bam.
I'll tell you, like Ed says, and it's kind of true. You can be in a park with an FPV drone and fly 6 or 7 different flights, and they all look different because you can concentrate your flight in different areas.
Sure, but you're still showing people the same thing again, and that would be like me going to fly River Hills Park every day, right? Just going to a different part of the River Hills Park. You know what I'm saying? Like the same water, the same area.
But if you're flying a different flight, well, no, you don't.
But I'm saying you get to know it. You get to know it so much that it just becomes.
No, I know.
Like monotonous at that point.
I can go to Ed's house and fly his place just from watching all his videos.
Sure. You know what I mean? For instance, Dan, you know Florida. Florida is a flat nothing place.
Right.
And to my right, I've got marshland that goes into Osceola County, which is just south of Orlando. Okay, it's all just marshland.
Right.
You know, what is there to show you guys?
Exactly.
You got to dig. You got to dig for something.
You got to drive places. And that's why GPS got lost on me, because I was like, man, not only is it less fun, but I have to travel now to show people better stuff.
Yeah.
On top of that, I'm so grounded by all these restrictions. Like Tampa's become basically a gigantic no-fly zone up to a certain altitude. What am I supposed to do? Go up there and just spin?
You got a huge airport there. I was surprised you were even able to fly.
MacDill Air Force Base, Tampa Executive Airport, USF. I mean, I'm just like, Tampa's just become almost an entire no-fly zone unless you're. I can reach for Lance, right? I can go through Kitty Hawk and get Lance, and normally I do. If I have to, if I'm doing a GPS flight, I'll reach out for Lance, okay? And they give it to me. Normally it's really snappy. I get it instantly back. I got Lance authorization, right? But it really depends on the time of day, because our airports are so fucking busy that they'll turn it down in a heartbeat too. You'll drive all the way downtown thinking that you're going to get this really great shot, and then they're like, yeah, sorry. I mean, it's tied up for the next 3 hours. Like, oh, wow, okay. And then you drive all the way home, you know?
And I don't know how far out an aircraft has to be. Like if it's 100 miles out, I don't know at what point they allow you Lance and stop Lance.
Right.
Is what I'm saying. Because also off the runways, you got Class E airspace, which is also not Class G. You know, because when they're taking off and coming down, that's both runway paths into the airport are Class E, which is controlled airspace. Yeah.
I'm being restricted. No matter where I fly, I'm almost getting an altitude warning every time I go anywhere. Like, don't fly over 150 feet. It's like, oh, well, okay. Wow, that's
Jim, you've been to Flushing Meadow Park, right?
Yeah.
And do you remember where the Globe was?
Yeah. 64 Globe, yeah.
And you know how close that is to LaGuardia.
Yep.
Paul was able to take off using Lance.
You got LaGuardia on one side and John F. Kennedy Airport on the other side. Then you got MacArthur Airport in the middle of Long Island.
Yeah, that's all the way down. Yeah.
So what I'm saying is, and Newark Airport in Jersey. You got 4 airports, right?
And then there's a helipad and a few things in a C1. But what I'm getting at is Paul was able to fly right there, right?
Because of FPV?
No, with his Mavic Air 2. What does he fly? Mavic Air 2, right?
He had the Pro. I don't know.
The Mavic Air, whatever he bought afterwards.
Okay.
Might be the Zoom, but what I'm saying is he was able to fly with Lance. He took off.
Agent K, I understand that, but most of the time, man, you just want to put up and fly sometimes. Sometimes it's whimsical. Sometimes I'll just be like, oh, I'm close to downtown. I want to go fly. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's just, I have my drone with me. I see a great opportunity, and now I'm having to wait on Lance approval. You know, it's like,
Well, that's the beauty of all these high-def FPV drones that are coming out.
And exactly. That's why FPV really kicked over for me, man. Not only is it more exhilarating, more fun.
The digital?
Way more entertaining. No, I don't like digital.
No, or just the camera, the milliwatts?
GoPro. No, just the camera that you put on let's say you put, a higher resolution camera.
Yeah.
Than the FPV.
Because I heard Dan talking about his 200 milliwatts isn't powerful enough when he goes behind a tree.
Penetrate the trees, yes.
Yeah. That's for his sake.
Yeah. So just because my FPV drone is still 4 years old, I have had no reason to upgrade the tech on it yet. I have another 5-inch build complete, but something's wrong with the Rush VTX on it, so I haven't been able to get. That's 800 milliwatts. That'll easily penetrate the tree line, no problem. But I don't feel like ripping the 4-year-old B flight apart just to put in the VTX, man. Put it all back together. It does fine out to 3,000 feet as long as there's no obstructions. It does fine. So I'm not going to change the whole thing out just because I can't drop below the tree line.
No, actually, that was a pretty fast bird. Remember?
Oh, that's the same one. I've had that one for 4 years now, man. It's never broken an arm. I've replaced all the motors a few times. I've only had to change props a couple times, but it's still intact. The entire bird is still intact after 4 years.
Let me tell you something. The DJI does not put out any maintenance at all for any of these aircraft. The only time I saw maintenance was on the Matrice 200 series, said that after 200 hours, everything should be overhauled. And they only use the word overhaul. They don't say engines and ESCs change up. They just say overhaul. So how do you know in FPV land when it's time to change your motor?
You know just by what's happening with your quad. So if it's
Hear it?
Kind of
oscillating,
feel it.
yeah. If it's
Sometimes you can hear it.
you do. It's like your vehicle when you get in your car. You drive it every single day. You can. What's that? What's that sound? That's not normal. You start noticing things from flying it so often that something seems out of place here. I don't. What is that? Or you'll see vibrations, small vibrations. Okay, well now we got to look at the motor shafts, props, the bearings. It could be a plethora of different things. Maybe a loose frame screw. That's it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But you notice that the more you fly, you start to be able to hone in on these things because it's all basically just feel. You kind of feel it while you're flying. You're like, oh, that doesn't seem right. Something's off here. Or you hear it. You'll be flying around. You kind of hear like a weird noise that doesn't.
You can even see it through your goggles, like you said, with vibrations.
Yeah, you get the vibrations or oscillations in the footage. You can tell you maybe have a offset, prop might have got bent, hitting a tree, or just, whatever. You can just tell. I mean, there's just things that stick out to you like a sore thumb once you've been doing it for a while. When I spin, I'll tell you what. When I spin my bearings, okay, let's say I put 200 good flights on a set of motors, right? And I'm talking like slamming the throttle down, skyrocketing up at 120 miles an hour, some serious flight time. When they first come and you spin them, they're real smooth. After 200 flights, I spin them. You can hear them kind of ticking and doing some other little things. You can grab the shaft and the bell house will kind of wobble back and forth, right? Yeah. You're starting to wear out the parts. You'll start seeing vibrations in your camera that you can't get rid of. That's when you know it's time to change the motors. Now, those motors are only like $7 to $15 a piece, so they're cheap.
Well, I know, but you saw what DJI had to do to mine, which they never owned up to. They actually had to break the bird apart to replace a friggin' software board. What was that thing? The flight controller board. They never admitted to what was happening. They just send you pictures and say, this is your bird. It's like, holy shit, what happened to it?
But no, man,
here's a $3,000 bill with that.
There's a reason I got into FPV, man. I just got tired of Jim, I hate to do it because you guys talk the technical stuff here often. It's not that I don't understand it. It's that I'm bored by it now. You know what I'm saying? We've been talking about it for 5 years straight now, and now it's like gotten so technical to the point where like everybody's trying to figure out what CMOS sensor is and what a half-inch sensor is going to do and what the, you know what I'm saying? It's like I just fly to take footage. I was never about all that other stuff, man. I just understand the logistics of how these things work. I'm not trying to I'm not a professional. I'm not trying to take photography. I'm just trying to get some fun footage, maybe a little color grading, show people an adventure, and that's the end of it for me. And I think that's kind of how it's always been. So when you guys talk the technical stuff, I just like.
Well, that drives me nuts. Wait. Here's why. DJI sells you a Mavic 2 Pro, telling you it's a 1-inch sensor. It can now get HDR 10-bit D-Log. But then they're using Hasselblad's new color science in order to do that and never put out any specs on how to use that. So exactly what color science is that you use? Because when you're using a proper program like DaVinci Resolve, you can put an input device transform in, which means you're telling it, I'm using a DJI camera that uses this log information. Now change it into a color that I'm supposed to be able to see. But DJI don't put that information out. So it's a guessing game.
You just said all that. Now let me do it to you in FPV. You ready? All right, so I'm having this issue, man, where I can't get my transmitter to stop desyncing from the remote, right? No matter what I do, I go into beta flight, I change the PIDs out. I have to go in there and manually adjust my PIDs. I got to raise the expo up to probably a factor of 0.7 or 0.8, maybe better. Really depends on how much oscillations I'm getting from it. But, if I don't raise the expo, then what's going to end up happening is I'm going to get really bad oscillations from this. The expo is supposed to really kind of smooth the dynamics of it out, so we'll add some filtering in there. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's harder to follow, right? You get where I'm going with this? Like, it's like, okay, now we're too in depth. I just want to fly and have fun, So that's you probably get bored by what FPV guys talk about. We kind of get to the end of, once you start.
But generally, Dan, you would say generally for the most part, when you take something out of the box, for the most part, bind and fly, it flies.
It flies pretty well, yeah. I mean, without a tune, anyways.
So
still,
why I'm saying that is you don't have to be leery. Or
Yeah, you don't
worried
have to
about
be a
getting into
master at
FPV.
it.
But you guys still strive for better pictures. Look at all the guys in FPV who bought DJI's digital systems and the run cam cameras and putting a GoPro on an FPV.
You
That's
will
not me.
find.
Some people do.
You will find that the majority of really expert pilots do not use DJI digital, and that is because they do not have the same time sync. It is still behind. When you take GP pilots, right? Actual GP pilots, they have to instantly see what is happening, and the only way they're going to get that to the almost instantaneous factor is analog, right? They have had guys time and time again test the digital system versus analog, and the GP
But that's more
guys.
race, no?
What's that?
It's not the race. It's
what?
the race guys. It's the
Yeah, the
race
race
guys.
guys.
right?
The GP,
Okay.
yeah.
But that's what I said. If you're talking
Rojo
extremely
Drones,
advanced pilots,
or Rojo, as you guys call him, is
Yeah.
in the chat. Just saying.
Rojo,
Robert.
Rojo,
Okay,
Robert.
Robert.
Yeah.
Rojo. Rojo.
So even Edwin Rodriguez, Erod Yo, that's his YouTube channel, right? Is probably one of the best pilots in Florida, and he flies analog. He doesn't do digital because he needs to. There's a minuscule factor that he says he notices where he does something and he sees the delayed reaction of it. He has to instantly make that maneuver. If it doesn't, and he can't see it almost instantly, he crashes.
Well, it changes everything. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. You're talking about 200 milliseconds. That's a quarter of a second. At 80 miles an hour, that's 1 foot. So, yeah, I get it.
So, like I said, man, there's a place for DJI digital. If you're just out having fun and you're not one of those guys and you're just cruising, you want better visuals, by all means. But if you want to actually be an advanced pilot doing this stuff, it seems to be the way to go is still analog.
I would never be able to get up to 200 hours on an FPV bird before I destroyed it, crashing it. And I'm sure I'm not the only one in the boat. Oh, yeah. Well, hell,
that's everybody.
When the Phantom Force first came out, they were crashing left and right.
But, okay, Bob, maybe, but they would have to cut out latency to do that. There's still enough latency that the GP pilot guys can't deal with it. If they can cut back on the latency, what's that?
Not at those speeds.
Right. And they're actually ripping way past 80 miles an hour. Those guys are flying closer to 125 to 130 miles an hour through the gates. So they're screaming, dude. They have to instantly see what's happening. Have you ever watched a GP race? They will hairpin turn at 100, bro. They will blow props apart from how much G-force comes off them. They will blow through the gate and try to make a hairpin turn, and you'll just see the props explode. It's crazy to watch. Yep.
It's like having better reaction time than a gamer. You know?
Yeah.
Or actually better, now that you mention it.
Robert says it would never work in FPV racing. Yeah.
It won't. It's too far. There's too much latency for those guys, man, that have those kind of reflexes. It's crazy. I can't even imagine having reflexes like that.
On the GPS side, they've been using the same camera as the Phantom 4 in 2015, as the Skydio 2 in 2020.
Mm-hmm.
They still have the same friggin' cameras. So when DJI says, okay, here's this Mavic 2 Pro that can do all this crap, that's what interests me. I want to see it do all that crap you say it does.
Yeah.
Hey, Ron, you're on transport. Yeah, he's working.
Yeah, we just brought one into Sioux Falls. I've never ridden. Yeah, we're on our way back to the airport now.
Take us for a helicopter ride.
We can do that. It might cost us some money.
Are you in a chopper or a ground unit now?
Fixed wing. We just we landed at the airport. We flew from North Dakota down to South Dakota down on the reservation to pick up a patient and brought him to Sioux Falls, clear on the eastern side of the state. Now it's about an hour and a half ride home. So, yeah. So, yeah, sorry I couldn't join up with you guys tonight.
Well,
you did. You're here now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be short. Yeah.
What does Johnny FPV use? What is that?
I have no idea. It really, I think you'll find more freestyle pilots use digital than racers. That's really what it comes down to. Most of the freestyle guys are going to use digital system.
Were you trying to show that, Carlos?
No, it was the wrong thing though.
Oh.
This.
Ron, how long did this transport take you?
We left.
I'm trying to kill the sound though.
4:45, and it is 8 o'clock. So another be about 5 hours round trip.
That would drive me insane.
Did you just wipe that Corona snot bubble on your shirt like that, bro?
I did.
The Corona snot bubble? Is that what it was?
Yeah, dude.
That's what shirts are made for.
What do you think? That's what sleeves on them, right?
Yeah,
Exactly.
Trying to figure out how to share this without music, though. Jim,
if you just share it, it won't play music.
Yeah. No, because he didn't activate the audio to it.
Right.
Do you see it at all?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, make it big.
Is that
I
Apple?
am right now.
Yeah, that's an Apple device.
Why are we watching?
Is it big?
Not yet.
What happened? What happened?
No, we can't see it now.
You broke it. It's broke. Ron, it's because of you.
Hold on.
You broke it.
We were seeing it in 1/4 of the screen, and then it stopped.
Hold on.
Wait, so who do we got in the back of the transport?
I got Mr. Dan.
Dude, let's high five that guy. High five, guy. Yeah.
We're in the back of a Mercedes-Benz ambulance. Never ridden one of these before.
Classy.
Never mind.
No,
Look at
we
you.
ride out here and stuff.
Is it still as stiff as a Ford F-450?
Just about.
Yeah.
I used to drive an F-250 for a while.
Those ambulances are not for comfort, man.
No.
John, I'm not saying that I don't like GPS. There is a place for it in my world still for certain shots. I have to have it. You can't. Let's put it this way. You can't hover FPV and take still footage.
GPS is for photography.
I have to have it for
That's a
certain
good
shots. Yes, for certain shots, I have to have a GPS drone. That's why I kept Solo and I kept my Xeno. Everything else went. That's it. Bebop 2, all of it gone. Bye.
I thought that Xeno was all right for the money.
It's okay now that I modified it, and now it's got extremely long flight times.
Oh, you made your own battery?
Yeah.
I did not know that. You did not tell me.
I did. Yeah. What drone don't I get that I don't make my own battery for?
I know.
That's so easy. I don't understand why more people don't do it, man.
Do what?
Make their own batteries.
Make their own batteries for their drones instead of flying proprietary.
Well, how do we get around that stupid? Why?
The TB-47?
Why can't we just bypass it?
I don't see that you can't. I don't believe that guy's causing his own problems. I will guarantee you that guy's causing his own problems. He's the only one that's been messing with it. If I had a good battery, I could test things, but I don't, and I'm not going to spend the money on it. So when you have a battery that's on its way out, but the circuitry still works, you give it to me, Jim, and we'll have some fun.
I actually have one for you.
Ron, you're not allowed to tell us what was wrong with your patient, are you? Or are you?
No.
I didn't think so. Somebody
bro.
Somebody else. I didn't think you were allowed to. Yeah, that's what I thought.
Did it take 4 pounds of pressure?
That's 4 pounds of pressure?
I think it's 3, right? 3 to 4 pounds of pressure to pull the human male organ off.
Oh my God.
I think that's what it is. Isn't that right?
No
I'm almost
way.
positive that's what it is, dude.
Are you kidding me? Where'd you come up with this science?
Hold on a sec. Hold on.
Did you talking to Lorena Bobbitt?
Oh, Jesus.
Where the hell did you come up with that?
I can't remember where I heard it.
She has
I
a
heard it
phone line that you can call.
I guess I was absent in class that day. They taught that in paramedic school.
Yeah.
They have a Lorena Bobbitt hotline. Every time I call, I get cut off.
Yeah.
Hold on. I've heard this somewhere. Official. Give me a sec.
Wah, wah, wah.
He's actually talking about how much pressure it takes to yank off.
Yeah.
If that was the case, Dan's yanker would have been off a long time ago with all this.
Because I always like line of sight. Sometimes I just like watching the bird fly better than putting on the goggles. Yeah, and for me, wearing the goggles would be such a hassle because I would have a contact in so I can see the screen, and then I have glasses so I can read the chat. Because I don't need the glasses to see. But if I want to see the chat,
I can't read.
do bifocals. They drive me insane. You're always doing this.
Yeah. Not to mention, if you lose one pair of glasses, you lose both.
Yeah, and they're not cheap.
No.
They're expensive as hell.
Dan, how much pressure do you need to?
That's what I'm trying to. That's what I'm trying to figure out here. Penis removal. Hold on.
Oh my god,
dude!
Now,
I'm telling you,
what
there's
a grown
study
man's
done on
hand,
that.
a woman's hand. You know?
Yeah, I don't know. They did an average. I can, if I remember correctly, an average study. It was like 3 to 5 pounds.
Carlos,
You know what scares me is, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
the
Because, dude,
study,
I'm a compendium. Normally, when I hear things, it's store it. It's like data in my head, man. When I hear things.
Ron, Mike says your patient went past the 4-hour mark on the Viagra, so he called for help.
Priapism. That's what they call that.
Priapism, yeah.
Sometimes known as not to count the
I
dead.
thought it was 90 minutes. Who the hell wants a 4-hour hard on?
Well,
Gigolo. Maybe,
she only got a 45-minute ride, but by the time we left, went down to get her, pick her up, and transport her. Now we're heading back home, and it'll be close to 4 hours plus.
The toughest part would be trying to stay awake.
Yeah, I actually got a little nap today, so I'm not bad. Oh, but I wanted to be on with you guys tonight. I'm sure there was a discussion of the remote ID. I just haven't had a chance to really read it or hear much about it, but I'm very curious.
Basically,
ignorance is bliss.
They have to make up modules that comply with the U.S. government's certifications, and they have 18 months to do that in, and it's only for drones 250 grams and above.
All right. If I find it, I'm going to send it to you and Jim. It was something about Unix. They were talking about how Unix used to get them pulled off, and that's crazy.
Why? Why would they do that?
I have no idea why they would do it.
So they wouldn't.
I'm not a eunuch. I don't know.
King's concubines and wives. That's right.
You mean they want to be eunuchs?
No, they would just.
Well, when you're what is it? Flaccid. Flaccid is soft, right? Isn't flaccid soft, or flaccid is engorged? Which one is
Robert. It? Engorged.
Oh, Ron's gone.
Engorged.
So what is flaccid then?
Not engorged.
Right, that's what I'm saying. So they say a non-flaccid penis is like 3 to 5 pounds to have it removed. And if this was, I believe this had to do with Unix, man. There was a whole fucking study done on how much pressure it takes to remove the male organism.
Now it makes sense, Jim. Now it makes sense why he would be looking into this stuff.
Actually, the reason
operations you had down there, you were probably going to be a Unix.
The reason I looked into it was because of Game of Thrones, the eunuch. I was trying to figure out the whole thing with Unix and why they would make him eunuchs. So then I ended up doing a study.
I'm telling you not to mess around with the concubines and the wives, the king's wives.
Yeah, well, I know that now.
I don't know that.
Yeah.
What's Tim got?
That's what I'm guessing.
This is going to be his next drone. You love me. What the hell? Oh, am I watching I'm watching a commercial. Wait a minute.
Castrated with a specific social function.
Mike Kenny's got a question for you, Dan.
Does he? Hey, I like to know a little bit about everything, man. I'm weird. What's he got? Is that when it's soft or hard? Well, I have to ask. I mean, I can't remember. Well, I know engorged, that's big, but I can't remember if flaccid was the same thing. Flaccid, obviously.
I don't know what
I'm
looking for, but Tim Jackson says this is his next drone. I'm not going to play.
I hate this. This company's
that thing
not
does
real.
a backflip. Does it backflip and walk up steps and stuff?
They
have a robot that does that.
This is that company. Music. This is that company that does the CGI versions of this that are really fake.
Yeah.
Remember, this is the robot that they had picking up crates, and then they were pushing on it, and then they threw it a machine gun, and it shot stuff, but it was all fake. It ended up being all CGI, so this could be all CGI again. This company is really known for pulling the wool over people's eyes.
This is fake?
I believe this is fake. I believe this is CGI.
Okay.
Hey, Jim, you know who that reminds me of?
Who?
Is Matt's friend Don from Canada. You just need to put the pink tutu on him.
Don Joyce, yeah.
Yeah. That's the way he's dancing.
Oh, there's that little one.
He said, "You're talking about Corridor Digital. This isn't them, Dan." I don't yet. But then how come they did a whole video with this?
It says Boston Dynamics, which
Yeah,
is an
Boston
actual company.
I get it. Hold on a sec. I'm gonna see if I can pull up a video now.
All right, Tim, this is your video. Now I know they actually sell that robot for looking at
What the hell is that
materials.
bobbing thing in the ass there? What was that all about?
That's on a segment.
Oh, that's the weight. That's the weight to counterweight. That's probably what that is. Look at that ninja stuff. Karate Kid.
Oh yeah, he is right. New
Wax
robot
on, wax off.
Corridor Digital. Oh, look at that. It's the Boston Dynamics fake robot.
It's part dog, part giraffe, part ostrich. What the hell is that thing?
Oh, good call, bro.
So Dan, is this real or not?
Okay, so I'm gonna share a thing in the StreamYards. Yeah, that's real. If it's actually Boston Dynamics, it's real. Here's the fake one, and that's why I said this is what I was referring to. He's right though.
All right.
So check the private chat. I don't know if you want to share it. If you do, maybe a little bit of it. I don't know if I'd share a lot of it, but this is fake. But this looks really real. The CGI is fantastic in this. They did a great job.
Open.
Did you ever see the robot that does like backflips and climbs up a box and stuff like that?
Good for you, Agent K. You called that one out, bro.
I gotta wait for the commercial to get done.
This one will trip you out. Yeah. This one will trip you out because you've seen Boston Dynamics and it looks identical to the Boston Dynamics.
It looks like that thing from Alien. What was that?
Kind of the big suit that they wore.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is really trippy because it looks really weird. It looks real. I mean, they did a great job with this. But, yeah. Anyways, this thing goes like ham at the end. See, doesn't it look real?
Yeah, but how could somebody be in the middle of that? It's too skinny. Look at that center section.
No, wait, it gets better. Watch how crazy this gets.
It's a midget, Jim. He's only on the top part. That's a bullshit hit with that freaking hockey stick.
Just watch,
I
bro.
would have hit him a lot harder.
Oh. Now this is all fake?
Yeah.
You know how many times you're holding a gun when you're self-defending and somebody throws a basketball at you?
Oh, wait a minute. It catches a rifle in the air. Okay. Why would they bother to make this video?
I don't know. It tripped everybody out for a while, though. Still got me.
Yeah, I'm not standing in front of that thing. What the hell would they bother to make this for?
It's pretty stupid if you think about it. What's the point?
Yeah, exactly. What are you trying to show? It's not going to shoot him because he's a human. Oh, but it got mad.
Why would it do that? Yeah, it had feelings all of a sudden. Give me a break.
It's still a funny, trippy video, though, isn't it?
This is more like Star Wars crap. RoboCop.
Yeah.
I don't know what they're trying to show that you can hit it with a bat.
Oh, wait, a swarm of bees.
Bees.
But that guy's standing there. The bees aren't bothering him.
Such horse shit.
Oh, it's a Barrett 50.
Wow.
Joe.
You can limbo.
He's deciding which one's the human.
I guess, yeah.
It's deciding which one's it. Oh, I see. I still don't get the battering ram thing.
I don't
Shoot it with a Nerf gun.
I don't get the point of the whole thing.
I don't either.
Who the hell made this?
Yeah, so this is the company, the something collateral something. But see how they're calling themselves Bosstown Dynamics instead of Boston Dynamics?
No,
See, there's the little dog. Look, see? See? Little
Oh
dog.
yeah.
Doesn't have the giraffe neck though. Yeah, I'm gonna come at a guy with a rifle with a hockey stick. That makes sense.
Like bringing a knife to a gunfight.
Right.
Huh.
Oh, I didn't see that Boss Town dynamics on the actual video.
Mm-hmm.
And then it runs away.
It just grabs a dog and takes off.
He's
Oh, it's
on his
really
way to
moving, too.
7. He's on his way to 7-Eleven.
Yeah, there goes Short Circuit. Johnny Five alive.
Disassemble.
That's insane. I never saw that, and I hope I never do again.
Oh my God.
Well, Dan, do your research. Let me know how your experiment turns out. Whether it's 3, 4, 5 pounds. Let me know how
We'll
that
get to
works.
the bottom of this.
I'm telling you,
honestly-
hands would have been off a long time ago, Ron.
I could go the rest of my life without knowing that.
Yeah.
You mean
I'm
that-
literally
that's
on
statistic?
Eunuch right now. Like I'm reading about the Eunuch thing, see if I can find it.
They did a behind-the-scenes video. Smart stuff. Is that for all visual effects? Because I saw when I closed it, it came up with VFX videos and stuff.
No, those guys are good. I like their videos though. The VFX guys, they're really good. I like their channel's fun.
Woo! Cold out here.
Jim, I'm gonna troll your channel and chat. I gotta go lay my straighten out my back.
Yeah, we're gonna shut it down, brother. I gotta go eat.
All right, guys.
Allow me
I'll
to
see
be
y'all later.
And
All right,
silly.
dudes, I'm out. Toodles.
take care,
See you,
Dan,
man.
Ron, Jim.
3 to 5. 3 to 5.
Hey, Ron, be nice to your
Yeah.
neighbors, all right? Be nice to your
Oh,
neighbors.
always do.
All right.
All right, guys. See ya.
Take care, guys.
Good night,
Bye-bye.
everybody in the
Take
chat.
care, Jim.